brand new technology that you can do from the comfort of your own computer. Yeah, pretty nice. This technology is instantaneous. You can make sounds on the internet. Okay, David, I think we all know the US president needs to grovel before the Israeli prime minister. Can you show us your groveling technique? I won't be groveling to Netanyahu, no. But I won't do what Barack Obama's done, and that's to isolate Netanyahu, to not move forward with some semblance of a plan for peace. Barack Obama would rather blow him off than to deal with him. He's having John Kerry approach Iran now over the failed agreement that the Republicans will not sign. This president has been living in a fishbowl of his own making, unable to actually breach the other side and talk. He's created a vacuum of foreign policy disasters, one after the other. The Ukrainian situation could have been avoided. The anger that he put out toward Vladimir Putin, calling him a jackass, could have been avoided. To throw the American people under the bus like this is indicative of an irresponsible president, and that is exactly what Barack Obama is. And we didn't have a very good president with George W. Bush, but I can tell you he had a better relationship with Vladimir Putin. That much I can tell you is positive about George W. Bush, and I never thought I'd actually say that. You see, I was against George Bush all those years that he was president, and I thought for sure that the Republicans could have done a lot better. But they can't. The Republicans can't think out of the box. They don't have any brand new plans. They don't have any ideas. Their only big idea is to help big business. Well, big business doesn't care about anything but profit. But similarly, the Democrats, all they care about is taxing. They want to tax everybody and continue spending at an alarming rate. That's why Barack Obama has spent $7 trillion over what he should have spent. And he has spent double what Bush spent, which is really shocking. 2-1. I've never listened to Howard Stern. No, I don't like listening to people talk about anal sex. It just doesn't really interest me. I heard Durst is on a dateline. Durst is apparently not going to be prosecuted. Is that what the newest information is? He's not going to be prosecuted in one area because they don't have enough information to convict him on. The real estate mogul Durst is apparently facing two charges of murder. That's right. A lot of people are saying, hey, buy precious metals like silver and gold. Very low, fairly low, and on the rise coming up. You see, precious gold and precious silver is precious. Precious is very limited. People don't realize, but there's a lot of investment in the paper and paper gold and paper silver markets, and there's no tangible gold or silver to actually back that money. Well, if you have tangible gold and silver in your pocket and not paper gold or silver, then you're better off and you should be poised to make some money in the long term. Because as people get this demand to hedge against inflation, to put money in precious metals, there's not enough precious metals to go around, the real stuff. Bush and Obama are partners in the same crime. One robbed the bank while the other drove the getaway car. Good point, Corporal Bite. So as a former Democrat, I'm very, very unhappy with the Democratic Party. They pretty much alienated me completely in the recent 2014 election, stealing 90% of my signs on the highways. The Democrats are so full of entitlement that they feel that they need to steal in order to retain their power. Can you imagine something so undemocratic as stealing a guy's signs? They did it recklessly. 90% of my signs were stolen in the past 2014 election. How do I run a campaign against a bunch of cronies when they're literally willing to cheat and steal to retain their power? I ask you. Now, as far as the GOP is concerned, I'm talking junk right now. They seem to have this mindset that we're going to all have school prayer, that we should all somehow reverse Roe v. Wade decision, and somehow we should force women to bear their children and not necessarily find them adopted solutions for their children. I mean, it's ridiculous. So the socially conservative agenda of the Republican Party is really taking that party down. Now, I understand many of you are constitutionalists and are concerned about the Constitution. The Republicans don't even stand up to that. Freedom of speech, freedom of privacy, right to privacy, freedom to bear arms, right to bear arms. The Republicans aren't doing enough in that direction. And they aren't very tough on Obama, ironically. They're constantly wondering about being politically correct. Remember when John McCain was approached by a woman? Woman said, "Mr. McCain, Barack Obama is a Muslim." Ma'am, no, Barack Obama is not a Muslim, ma'am. Remember John McCain saying that right before the election in 2008? What kind of an idiot would stand there and argue with a woman claiming that Barack Obama is a Muslim, when clearly Barack Obama is a Muslim and always was a Muslim? John McCain was not tough, and Mitt Romney wasn't tough either. He refused to take on the birther issue, which is a huge issue among the American people to this day. 25% of the country still believe Barack Obama was born in Kenya because he was born in Kenya. And we've never seen any accountability from the Supreme Court. They're as crooked as they get. You know what's really interesting about the Supreme Court? The Solicitor General, during all that time when all those 18 lawsuits were migrating to the Supreme Court about Barack Obama's birth certificate, the Solicitor General was Elena Kagan. Well, guess what happened? Elena Kagan got a job. She was given the job of justice, Supreme Court justice, without ever having served as a judge ever in her entire life. I argue that that is total payback for her holding back all those lawsuits regarding Barack Obama's birth certificate. It's just crazy. I was never born in Ireland. I was born in Los Angeles, California, the city. My name's David. I'm not a cop. Yeah, there's nothing's valid about his Hawaiian birth certificate. It's complete forgery. I talked to a reigning expert in documents and images, Doug Vogt, who talked to me on my radio show about 3 years ago, and he's filed a 47-page brief with the FBI claiming that that birth certificate is fake. What we have in our country is a system that won't even question itself. A Democratic and a Republican Party that won't even vet its own people. Now the Republicans are talking about allowing a Canadian to run, Ted Cruz, and saying there's justification for that. The Constitution is clear. He has to be a natural-born citizen. He cannot run for president. And Obama needs to be prosecuted for lying to the American people. Doug Vogt. You can go to our website, americasthirdparty.com, and check out the radio icon on there. Now, I was a radio icon myself. I used to do a lot of radio. I was a news director and a disc jockey at one point in my life. But I had a radio show. I did 200 episodes. I'm thinking of reviving it. And one of my last episodes was with Doug Vogt. You go to the radio icon at America's Third Party and click on that right there. And it takes you to the Blog Talk Radio page. And then if you go in the archives, you'll see my interview with him. It's a little farther back in the archives now. Here it is, right here. See? Click that thing right there and you listen to our radio show with Doug Vogt. VOGT is his name. Let's play it. David, you sound like a distinguished radio personality. Thank you. Document expert Doug Vogt on Obama's forged birth certificate. Oh, a great conversation, 33-minute conversation with him. Pentagon loses track of $500 million in weapons donated to Yemen. This just came in the other day. Thanks, Drag King.
With our show, and I want to thank you for all your
This is Dolphin 7,
revealing
Yemen.
This is evidence about the birth certificate that was recently presented that is clearly a forgery, according to your expert opinion.
You don't change typewriters. So it proved that basically the document was a composite document. And that's really what it was. My 9 items are also pretty, it's very damaging, let's put it this way. The line with the name of the hospital is straight, but the rest of the phone curves down because the parallax, the way the cage was scanned into.
All right, so Doug did a very good job of explaining what he was all about, and he's actually worked with Orly Tates and tried to get that whole thing brought to the top. I'm not going to talk about the birth certificate issue tonight. Tonight is Technology Thursday. And the way to a better world for all of us is we need to actually have an embracing concept where we appreciate technology. Now, technology is going to replace jobs. We know that. But we need to fill the job vacuum with new jobs. So what I'm suggesting is we need to actually create solar panels, low-cost solar panels that could be deployed on every rooftop in America. Yeah, I'm not going to respond to somebody copying my video and having me listen to my video. That's a waste of my time. Well, let's be clear. No, it's not Stephen Hawking on the video. That was Doug Vogt, though. Stephen Hawking can't make words like that because he uses his tongue to talk.
Hello, how are you? I am Owen Klein. I was a bisexual.
Do you hear that Stephen Hawking has admitted he's bisexual? Fascinating. Could we change the subject? I think the GOP should regret a lot of things. Not bringing up Obama's foreign status during the election, that would be a big one. That would have been helpful for McCain or Romney. Yeah, that was my point. I'm not going to play it because it's irrelevant. Technology will never overtake practical skills for engineering. Good point. Dave, it's fascinating stuff, Dave. Scroll through more archives for us. Really captivating. Oh, that's good. Well, you wouldn't recognize my voice because as a distinguished radio icon, I remained behind the scenes. And I was not trying to become famous as a radio personality. In fact, I was told by a voiceover coach that I couldn't even mention my radio work when looking for a TV voiceover. She says, "Oh, you did radio? Don't ever tell anybody that." Yeah. Okay. No, Obama is not the issue here. Our country's the issue. Okay, let's talk about the country. Let's not talk about Obama and his vacations. I mean, God, what a waste of time. God, we've wasted 6 years talking about Obama when we could have been fixing the country's problems. Tuberculosis infects 27 kids at a Kansas City area high school. Wow. And here we thought we got tuberculosis under control. Wow, here we go. Thanks for the heads up on that. Tuberculosis infects 27 at a Kansas City area high school. This is a scary reality, you know. That they used to send people to hospices or sanitariums, they called them back then. Nearly 30 people have tested positive for tuberculosis. Okay. They've not confirmed who the original carrier was. And then the Pentagon loses track of $500 million in weapons donated to Yemen. So we had all these Yemenis people get all these weapons, and this is all under the Arab Spring concept, by the way. Obama was supporting Arab Spring. In fact, they have a place in Yemen called Camp Change, where they orchestrated challenges to the previous president, President Saleh, knocking him out and threatening to kill him. In fact, there was an attack on his life, which he survived. But then he called Barack Obama from an undisclosed location in Saudi Arabia and said, "Hey, could you help me?" And he says, "Why are you calling?" Let's be clear. We don't want you back, President Saleh. And President Saleh finally had to just give in and allow the Arab Spring Revolution to take place. Well, let's be clear. Thank you. There's 510 following this channel, dedicated Shaw members. And all the while, we haven't even played the Shaw song yet. I'm working on a new Shaw song, but I haven't come up with anything better. So I'm going to just bring you out the one and only great Shaw song. Here it is. So yeah, I am the guy who did blackface. I did it because I couldn't get any kind of coverage from the mainstream media. And I thought, what an appropriate idea to actually impersonate the president. Oh, but everyone says, "Oh, you can't do that. You'd be a racist." So I did this thing with beef broth. I smeared beef broth all over my face back in 2008. Whatever. It got enough notice so that people would actually, come to our site. But it never got mainstream media attention except in Japan. And my job is to wake you up. And I can't get any mainstream media attention at all. So I do this in the blogosphere with the hope that someday we're going to be able to elevate from the situation we're in by actually talking about the issues. What a concept. Talk about the issues. Yeah, you got to put up big bucks to get on the mainstream media. And that's the telling sign right there, guess 803. That tells me that the political system we have today is completely corrupt. Look at that. How can you reduce the world's population explosion that will destroy us all? Well, we have a zero population growth rate in America, 592. So what we got is actually working pretty well. Nothing to worry about there. Harvard might beat North Carolina. They just found an amazing creature, the bones of an amazing creature in North Carolina. This just hit the mainstream news today. We will negotiate with Indonesia. Yes, we will. The newly discovered crocodile ancestor was called the butcher. It was a 9-foot-tall predator that stood on its hind legs. Let's take a look at what we got here. Before there were crocodiles, there was the Carolina butcher. The newly discovered ancestor, the reptilian killer, stalked through the tropical mud, a 9-foot-tall predator in search of his next victim. Well, that's nice. It'd be nice to have a picture of it. There it is. Imagine seeing something like that. That's enough to freak you out. I did listen to the Dead Kennedys. They were great. Tomorrow is Friday, our favorite day of the week. Yeah, let's turn the music down and let's talk about the news. So this is a very interesting creature that existed 230 million years ago. Fascinating, huh? Grugach, please don't repeat the same thing. Wintard wants to get recognition. She's saying reptiles in the White House, folks. There's a solid belief out there that Michelle Obama may be a transgender, but that's not a reptile, okay? Well, let's be clear. Michelle is not a reptile, okay? Thank you. Wintard is a superstar here on the network. She's come out of hiding, I think, because she can't find any good lovin'. Her life is kind of... she's lost that edge, she's lost that love and feeling. Yeah, so now she's coming pretending like she's having a great love affair with her boyfriend, and she's not. That's why she's in here. She's bored out of her mind. She's obviously looking for somebody else. It's pretty obvious. We can tell. It's okay. Don't worry. It's not your fault. A lot of people get bored after the first 6 months in a relationship. David is the most advanced AI to date. How do you know that I am artificial intelligence? Is there something about my personality that is giving me away? My artificial accent has been smoothed with modern audio smoothing technology. You cannot tell that I am artificially inclined intelligence. Hello. Yeah, so you will gain it back in Dave's Cha News channel. There you go. David, are you transgendered? Last I look, I'm not. I'm definitely all male. Mr. President, 35 years from now, you are reprogramming me to your protector here, and this time before the political wars and your ultimate ascension to the presidency. Thank you for coming into the room. Are you also the android assistant that I am looking for? Please contact the Android division of the America's Third Party website. I don't think we need an android or a cybernetic organism running the country. We just need a guy who has a real serious intent to help the country. Not this flamboyant fake that Barack Obama is. I do. I check my own prostate daily. In fact, feels pretty good. Yeah. I do a system check on my CPU. It oftentimes defrags during this conversation. If there's any lag, it is due to the run check error system that I have permanently installed in my hard drive. Tomato Girl, is that you? David, what would you do to occupy your mind in a solitary confinement context? That's a tough, very tough question. I do a thing called meditation. I studied a little bit of the Tao, and I go into a meditative state and get in the lotus position. Straighten my tie. And I do a thing that makes me feel younger. The Tao says that you must actually say the words Fan Lo Wan Tong over and over again, and it'll make you younger. Fan Lo Wan Tong. Fan Lo Wan Tong. Fan Lo Wan. I can feel my wrinkles disappearing right now. Pretty soon I'll be like the late great Fan Lo Wan Tong, yeah. Fan Lo, the N is Tong. Joan Rivers, everybody. Joan Rivers, the late, great Joan Rivers, who passed away after announcing 6 weeks earlier that Barack Obama was married, he was gay and was married to a transgender. Do you think there's any connection to the death of that woman and Barack Obama and the transgender we know as Michelle? Do you think there's any connection? It's pretty strange. No connection at all. Well, Melissa Rivers is suing the Yorkville clinic that did the operation on her mother, Joan Rivers, without her approval. So it's going to be interesting to see where that court case goes. In case you haven't heard, because I know this is not aired on the mainstream media, Joan Rivers did announce that that was the case, and here is the video for all of you to see. It's worth looking at, just for a few seconds.
Ms. Rivers, how are you? You made a ton of news officiating the wedding in New York yesterday. Is this like a new cottage career move for you?
I'm so excited.
Okay.
And I should do very well because I don't choke.
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman
we
president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a trans.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
It's okay. She doesn't.
It doesn't matter. And that was the last we ever saw of Joan in public. Chris Kyle died. He was talking about the corruption in our government and how it was leading us to a potential FEMA camp-like scenario like the Germans had with the Jewish people and the ethnic minorities. And Chris Kyle was working on that great movie that never really materialized into anything more than a documentary, Gray State. There's nothing mamby-pamby about gay marriage. There's no reason why the government would actually intervene in marriage. It's a clear violation of the separation of church and state. So marriage and the same-sex marriage concept is kind of a moot issue. Anyone who believes the government should dictate what people do in the privacy of their own home or with their spiritual lover is really irrelevant. I believe that someday the marriage laws will be erased and people will just do whatever they're going to do. We'll have protection for people with pension plans and whatnot, legal protection, of course, but no need for a same-sex marriage law. It's diverting our attention from the real issues of the day. David, it looks like you are opening up the door in that video. Really? I was in the video? Wow. I didn't even know I was there. It was defamation, and he lost it. Another big mouth seal, at least. What? Good to see people that know what they're talking about. Yes. Finally, I'm saying something normal. Sure. I'm willing to talk about all the issues related to technology, but I'm too busy focused on this crazy animal that lived on the face of the earth 230 million years ago. I mean, can you imagine walking around in the marshes of North Carolina, what is now North Carolina, and having one of these things grab your torso and start crunching it? I mean, we've come a long way, folks. Now the reptiles are hiding behind the monetary system, negotiating better ways to make more money on their money, and they're sicker and slitherier than ever before. I mean, we've got sneaky snakes everywhere in our economy. Sarah's going to take a nap right now. She'll be in when she feels rested and fresh. I know, I've been sick and tired of hearing all this propaganda. It's disgusting. Let's go to the Propaganda Central, Google. Brought to you by the NSA. No, we would never reinstate slavery. That's such a has-been concept, McNasty. You know, there are people who are white slaves right now. I don't mean black slaves, I mean white slaves. You know, there's Eastern European women dancing in clubs in America right now, nude dancing, striptease dancing, that they owe for their arrival here. They owe some slave owner. There really is slavery going on in this country, and women are being exploited. I'm sure men are too. Oregano's on tap if I ever have a need for a vape. I can always vape my oregano. It's always here. I have it preloaded for the show. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu backtracks on his commitment to stop the creation of a Palestinian state. Well, this was predictable, and many people are wondering, how could he be such a duplicitous person at a time like this? Well, you know, we have a real reason to move toward a Palestinian state, and I was surprised he pulled it off the table when he was trying to close in on the negotiated control of Israel. But Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has denied rejecting the eventual creation of a Palestinian state, backing away from the pre-election comments that deepened a rift with Israel's ally, the United States. Well, he finally realized it created a problem, so I'm glad he's coming to reality. It's a reality check for him. Robots are coming, everybody. The advent of robotic technology is going to be a shocker for a lot of people. The robots are coming. Here, this is from gotslaves.info. There's a couple movies, Humans Need Not Apply. We played this a couple times. Robot armies will take your job and then kill you. And the CIA just declassified the document that supposedly justified the Iraq invasion. Oh, that's good news. A 93-page declassified document used to justify the invasion of Iraq that it lacked specific information on many key aspects of Saddam Hussein's weapons of mass destruction program. No kidding. Everybody was saying that to Bush, and people die fighting for democracy. There are weapons of mass destruction out there. You know, I think that they may have found weapons of mass destruction, but they couldn't reveal them because they had America's name on it. U.S. government made right on those weapons of mass destruction. Well, there you go. How can Bibi lie? There you go. How long do I prepare mac and cheese in the microwave? I don't think you can really cook them too long. 2 minutes should get the water boiling and just throw the package in. How do we know that you're not a robot in reality, David? Because I make fun of robots all the time. What robot would make fun of robots? Like my impersonation of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Nega. I mean, there's lots of reasons to be concerned here. There's technology that's scary. This always freaks people out whenever I do this. I'll bring on the Terminator. Yeah. Welcome to the show. I'm a cybernetic organism. Human flesh over metal exoskeleton. Welcome to the show. Feel free to say anything you want, as long as it is appropriate, or you will be banned and then your IP will be recorded. Yeah. It is so great to be in America now. Are you free? I bet you are. Well, I'm not going to allow America to turn into a cybernetic controlled country. We won't allow robocops in the streets of America when I'm president, okay? Brian, give it up. Tell your mom you're not going to steal more $20 bills out of her purse. You've given the whole thing up. I was not in the president's office. This is actually a photograph of the president's office in 1981. This is an epic picture. On this couch right back here, Ronald Reagan met with Saudi Arabian leaders to negotiate how he was going to handle the Afghan troop situation, and how we gave the Mujahideen Laz rockets and SAM missiles. All that occurred right on this couch back here. You want me to go check it out? I'm not a couch smeller or anything. I'm not going to smell the seats or anything. But I can go back here and check it out. You want me to? David, this lightning is making you look albino. I will correct that. Well, let's be clear. Let's change the overall advanced features on the picture. Is that better? How's that? Better? Better tone? I will never send more boots on the ground into the Middle East. I promise you, I will subtract troops from the Middle East. I will not add troops to the Middle East. That's my solemn commitment to the American people. Dave, you must be mentally gay because you just blew my mind. Well, let's be clear. I am not mentally gay. I'm a straight guy, always been heterosexual. Ever since I was 7 years old, I was drawing pictures of naked women on the bar stool of my family's house. I was sitting on the bar stool, and I remember my mom coming in and said, "David, what's that?" "Mom, I didn't want you to see it." And she said, "Well, what are you drawing there, David?" And it was like breasts, women's breasts. And she said, "There's nothing to be ashamed of. A woman's body is beautiful." And I just had to accept the fact that, my mother approved of my drawing, but she did take my drawing away, I believe. No, I think I was allowed to draw it some more, yeah. Anyway, Mr. Sponheim, how much are starter packs? They're $30 will get you 9 signs. I'm going to send 9 signs in the mail for anybody who wants to get our signs out in your area. Right now, you can send a $30 donation, and I will send you 9 of these beautiful signs. Well, let's be clear. They're pretty cool. Join the voter revolt, and I've got a box deal where I send you some color and some black and white. And here is 7 of them, but I can fit 9 in one of these large boxes. And we basically covered the shipping cost for the $30. It's $17.90 to ship them anywhere in the U.S. So I'm able to produce 9 signs for the remaining of $12. Isn't that amazing? I'm pretty good with this, and I'm doing these myself just to get started. If you guys really want to get going, you can get 9 signs up in your area, and you have to basically have a hammer to pound the stake in and have a Phillips screwdriver to screw it in. That's a deal, yeah. 9 signs for $30 is a hell of a deal. I didn't sell the baseball on you. Somebody else bid on it, man. 362. Grrr. Yeah, and the sticks to hold them with, too. I bought a bunch of wood, and I cut them down myself, and I make the stakes myself. I mean, this is all at cost, the whole thing. If the buyers in Washington State, will they have to pay sales tax? No. No. You pay me $30, I send you the 9 signs. That's the deal. Make a donation at americasthirdparty.com. Website is ready to go. People are ready to go. Okay. I am going to talk about how we're going to modernize technology. And as you know, I'm using a brand new technology for hempoline right now. Or excuse me, for a hemp or cannabis or whatever. Legalization of marijuana is a central part of my campaign. And it will introduce a brand new technology which is called hempoline, which could easily provide truck drivers fuel that's $1 less per gallon and helps clean their system out at the same time. I have a lot of got a chutzpah. Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do a blackface video and stand up to the two-party system and build a third party if I didn't have balls. And what you don't realize is I got bigger balls than most guys walking. I'll tell you that right now. In fact, as a child, people always said, David, what's that huge object in your pants? It was my balls. I've got big balls. Yeah. Okay, so any other questions about my balls? Thank you. Good. Now, let's talk about Uncle Lester donating only 36 cents. Six Color Patch made a point that Uncle Lester is saying he donated 36 cents. Yeah, Uncle Lester is not a real strong supporter. He would have been a bigger supporter a lot longer had he been serious about what we've been doing. He's kind of treating this like it's a joke. Post what story? The story about my balls? Or the vaporizers have toxic heavy metals? No, 36 cents will not buy a yard sign, but $1.33 will. If you go to davidsponheim.com right now, you can download the picture and send it to your local Office Max and have them printed on cardstock, 11 by 17, and you can have that picture. And it's a lot cheaper than anything you would have had otherwise. So there it is right there. You can actually click on the image right there as it pops up, and you can download this poster at davidsponheim.com. And the poster is printable in color for $1.33 at any Office Max and Office Depot on cardstock. So you can get started right now if you really, really are gung-ho about doing this and you don't want to spend $30. I look very light tonight. I darkened it up, New Leaf. I mean, I've definitely taken the tones down. I'm a Caucasian. I'm not going to look like Barack Obama. I mean, come on. I know, and to DT Laura, Canadians can't donate anything. They're from another country. So we only take donations from U.S. citizens. All right, Sarah's in. Hello. Too pasty? I don't think so at all. I think the coloring is right.
It's $5,000, which is $2,500 for the general and $2,500 for the primary election. So maximum of $5,000 is the.
Sarah has never smoked marijuana in her entire life. She just refuses, and I respect that. I really do. I think the people that don't want to smoke marijuana should avoid it.
Exactly.
She doesn't sound high at all. That's ridiculous.
Such thing.
She took a little nap today, and anyone who says disparaging or demoralizing things in the show will be banned. Just leave it. He's just trying to be funny. Badger Waxer got iced by Sarah. You got to learn to be nice, otherwise you don't continue being in the show.
Medical marijuana for pets. Interesting.
I don't really trust medical marijuana for pets. My cat would freak out. She already gets weird when she's around catnip. Gold up is $3.70 an ounce. Yeah, boy, you're really watching that gold. But you bought silver, businessman. Why are you so concerned about gold? The Federal Reserve is not doing very well. They're not able to lower the interest rates any lower than they already are, and they're not able to raise them. And Janet Yellen is hemming and hawing about what they're planning on doing, and it's creating kind of a rift in the world economy. You can just let a lot of these things ride. I've been banning a few of them, though.
I know.
Okay, good. We got a few people in here.
Here.
Yeah. I want to talk about new technologies, and one of the new technologies that I've been promoting is a way of generating energy on all of our rooftops in America. And I can't think of a better way of getting technology to work immediately for people than a solar rooftop program that would instantly generate energy on everybody's rooftop. So you can imagine this being a rooftop, and our ability to roll out solar panels like a carpeting. Imagine that. And we could ultimately have an amazing brand new approach to modern energy creation at our house. So you could get 30% of your electric bill paid for by your roof, essentially.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah. And how many roofs do we have in America? There must be, 100 million houses in America at least. I mean, that's a lot of rooftops, a lot of potential growth. If we automated the production of solar rooftops and made them roll out like carpeting, a team of 3 or 4 guys or girls or whatever could go out and put epoxy down and rivet them to the roofs, and you wouldn't even need a roof.
Yeah, they also
Replace
have
it.
clear solar panels now, so all windows can be solar panels.
That's right. So that's a brand new technology that could very well revolutionize our country. We are sitting on the apex of a brand new revolution in the solar industry with new technology that they've got nanotechnology they're applying. They're going to get 85% efficiency from the sun's power. That means that even when the sun goes down, these rooftops will be able to generate electricity from just ambient infrared heat energy, which is really amazing. So if we could integrate them into an automated production system where we could get these things made for under $1 a watt, we could very well compete with the Chinese and kick some serious butt economically. We could export these rolls of solar panels all around the world. But we need to start building something in America. We haven't done that yet. There's been talk about how we could have done that, but it's always venture capitalists snaking and getting money from the tax dollars. Like Solyndra, when they got $535 million from our president. And then they ran with that money. They never did anything with that money. These brands are not, this is unisolar technology, but this is just an artistic representation of what we plan on doing to the rooftops in America. You know, I don't speak a lot of languages fluently. I can listen and hear a lot from people talking, but I don't speak fluently. Right? Heath kits, solar panels. You know, I was expecting Radio Shack to sell solar panel kits, but they never really got too into it. I went to Radio Shack recently and asked, how much are your solar panels? And they showed me this little solar panel that I could buy for like $3 online for $17.99. I was like, why would I spend $17.99 at Radio Shack when obviously that company's going under? So my educational background's doing just fine. Thank you. I'm going to rest on my laurels on that one. Yeah, Radio Shack's still open in my area, but their sales are flatlining. Yes, I will allow Americans to go off the grid. That's my whole point. Eco tribes definitely could take place. I'm even thinking Voodoo Guru of starting a little place in America for Native Americans to call their homeland.
However, I'm sorry, but if you're in America, you still should abide by the laws of America.
Oh, I'm not saying that you shouldn't.
Just like cities and towns within America abide by the laws, but then they can make their own laws.
That's true. I agree with that. I think we need new treaties drafted with all Native American groups so that we have oversight over their septic systems. I called the local director of Health and Human Services here in Washington and asked him about a Native American tribal casino that was smelling like crap. And he said, "You sound prejudiced." I said, No, I just am concerned about septic contamination in waterways. He said, well, we don't handle that. They don't have any oversight over any territorial lands.
Zarko, if you're hooked up to the main electric grid, you don't need the batteries. The extra investment in the batteries.
Can I get you some hot tea or anything?
Sure.
Okay. What kind? Green tea?
Mint.
Mint, okay. Coming up.
Tea. Maybe with a little honey.
Okay.
David and I both wear pants. sometimes I wear dresses as well. It all depends, Zarko. So if you hook in, you can actually you wire it into the actual electric system, the electric grid. You have to have a special electrician do that. But if you wire it into the electric grid, then it's like the energy basically flows both ways. It goes from your solar panels into the electric grid, and then it goes from the electric grid into your house. And so any extra energy that you don't burn, then it's monitored by the electric company. And so you could actually be, in some ways, making additional money, because some states actually give you a credit for that, and where you can actually make additional money if you buy extra. Well, I've had some more, I just basically got different glasses, 8711. The glasses make a huge difference in the dorky factor. I started wearing some makeup, and I started going to a periodontist. Yes, I did go to college. I have my bachelor's degree. I graduated magna cum laude with my bachelor's degree. I'm considering going to get a master's degree, but I haven't started that process yet. No, I don't necessarily think I'm smarter than anyone, or any more intelligent or any less intelligent than anyone else. I think that we all have our unique intelligences. I believe there is a conversion factor, though, to convert from DC to AC, as far as your earlier questions are go. Yeah, I look like a totally different person than I used to. David did go to college for a few years. He actually felt that he already knew everything the professors were trying to teach him. So he felt that he didn't really need a college education, and so decided to not continue in that direction. I like that. Runs with scissors. Thank you. He doesn't like that term, dropout, because he said he left, I will say this, he left college with good academic standing. No, but I did watch it this morning. Or was that this morning? I don't know. I watched it recently. Yeah, sometimes that happens, runs with scissors. And it's all about handling that when you're... I know when I was in college, I felt more like I was a peer group of my professors than my cohort, than the people I was going to school with. I actually had more intellectual conversations with my professors than the people I went to school with. You're just getting your high school diploma at 26 years old. Congratulations, Toasted Coconut. I mean, it's difficult to go back to school and jump through those hoops, and you should be very proud of yourself. I think our country is founded on freedom of speech, and I think that is the videos that David has done is one expression of free speech. So I believe in freedom of expression. I personally, and I also believe that, we don't like to in our country, when we have, thank you very much, when we have things like, I think it's great that we have freedom of expression, and we don't have to agree with everything everyone expresses. Yes. What are you saying, 75911? No, that wouldn't just cover you. 8711. Are we required to be nice to people? No, we're not required to be nice to people. You're not required to be nice to anyone, but I think it helps us in society if we are nice to each other. Pardon, JTV? I don't understand what you're saying. My thoughts on a video. No, I don't use any hair dyes at this time.
It doesn't matter whether I'm right or wrong. It doesn't matter whether I'm right or wrong.
Okay. That's a basic thing of the video? David doesn't hate Canadians. I know, Zarko. Thank you very much. Oh, Hillary Clinton says, what difference does it make? Okay. I think politicians are going to say what they want to say. The autobiography of Nikola Tesla. I think Nikola Tesla was pretty cool. How do you prepare mac and cheese in the microwave? I would say first you heat up the water in the microwave just by itself, just the water. Then pour in your macaroni, and then you heat it for 1 minute at a time and check it and stir it. Or 30 seconds is even, do that for maybe 2 minutes and then take it down to 30 seconds and then that's it. That's how I would prepare it. I'm going to say no comment. Grua Gotch. Thanks, Scissor Fight. Grew Gawk. I didn't know. That's pretty cool. Thank you for that link, Scissor Fight. Why would someone need a stance on that? Americans rule. A stance? Really? Okay. The Pentagon lost track of $500 million worth of weapons donated to Yemen, according to Dabu 777. I think you should still vote 16511 even if you do believe what you do, and I understand your perspective, but I think that you should still participate in the voting process because you never know, you could make a difference. think all Americans are afforded certain rights. Yes. Tesla only cared about helping people. So true. Yep, and the patent office changed the patents from Marconi to Tesla after he died. It's pretty crazy.
You know, the patent office sued Stanley Meyer, the guy who created the water dune buggy. Stanley Meyer had a great idea to create a dune buggy that ran on water, and the patent office sued him. And he lost. He couldn't prove that he had created energy out of the water. Hello. You know, your recommended daily nap total is 1 a day, right around 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They say it's really good for you. Hi. Grugog, we don't even know why you're here. You keep raising the same contention. You're a nitpicker, and you've always been a nitpicker. Let me take a look at this one, New Leaf. That was so cute. Good. That was exactly what I wanted. See this?
Mm-hmm.
I did a little demonstration of how I looked like Troy McClure of The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was pretty good, yeah. That was me just a few minutes ago. Good job, dude. Screen cap for a win. I took a nap at 3 to 3:15. Einstein said you only need 3.5 hours of sleep a night. And that probably explains why he looked the way he did, you know. Very close, yeah. Einstein was not he didn't, I don't think he was a healthy guy. When you look at his face, I think personally that I thought I had his picture there. Oh well. He's eluding me. Oh well, so much for that. Troy McClure is a fictional character in the American animated sitcom The Simpsons. He was voiced by Phil Hartman, right, the late Phil Hartman, who died when his wife blew his head off. No, you're more than meticulous. You're obsessive compulsive. That's your problem. You need to lighten up. Get that monkey off your back. McNasty, I don't think your girlfriend needs to know that I'm single, but technically I am. Sarah's single too, technically. We're not married. No, we don't swing. No. How can anyone swing in this day and age with all the dangers out there of STDs and AIDS and all that? I mean, it's absurd. Let's do away with the IRS and create a flat tax. Exactly, Zarko. Thank you. We support that. I've never made excuses for losing a contest. Never. Yeah, once you find that one special person, everything kind of makes sense. I give Sarah a back rub at night, and it helps her get through the day, and she wakes up and gives me a back rub in the morning sometimes. I really feel... no, that wasn't an excuse. That was a fact. They did steal my signs. I'm not making excuses to why I lost. That was... Clearly I was sabotaged. That's not an excuse.
Not recently, New Leaf.
What do you mean why don't I have sex with her? How do you know if we have sex or not? That's crazy. You have a video camera in our house or something? No, that's not true. You're basing your premise on the belief that we have a fair and open system, Grugok. Our system is closed. Our media is censored. Our free press is not free at all. In fact, it's costly. It's very expensive. If you don't have enough money, you can't get press. I don't think I'm touching her roughly at all. I'm just rubbing her back slightly. Is that a rough back rub?
No.
Yeah, what is press at this point? I mean, who gets press? I mean, they used to say everyone's going to get 15 minutes of fame. I don't think so. I can't even get 15 seconds of notoriety. It's crazy. There's the AirPod. It's now up to $10,000. You know what? When the AirPod first came out, let me grab the picture of it. When the AirPod first came out, they actually said it was going to be $3,600. Now it's 10 grand. Isn't that amazing how fast things change?
Yep.
10 grand for that plastic running on compressed air. You can go about 90 miles on a tank of compressed air.
The AirPod, and I've just ran it for a while, and as you've seen, it's very agile, and you can see there's no driving wheel, just a joystick, and it's very comfortable because you are like in a seat, just driving in the city with this wonderful view around you because you are seeing everywhere, and it's a real new way to drive into the city. The main advantage, of course, is that it's no polluting cars. You're running for free emission, without emissions, and then after it's also the costs because it's very cheap to use and cheap to buy.
Excuse me, did he say cheap to buy? $10,000 is not cheap. I can take you to a place called ElioMotors.com, and you will see a car that is much.
Put it over there.
I will.
Thank you.
Much more affordable. Thank you very much. Check this car out. It's not a car, it's actually a motorcycle, but it's actually bigger than that little plastic thing that he has. $6,800, made in America, 84 miles per gallon, which is equivalent to his 90 mile per gallon AirPod. This is cool. Yeah. I give you link now. You go to and get on waiting list, and you can actually become. Yeah, that's a hell of a bargain. Check it out. You guys look into this car. This guy needs all the support he can get. He wants to get these things operational and out there, and he's taking pre-orders. So, I'm not here to sell the product. I'm just here to tell you about it. Because this new technology is amazing. It's a two-seater. I didn't want to do that with Sarah and I. I felt that our car is so much more comfortable. We picked up a wonderful second Honda Insight recently on Sarah's birthday in February. And this car rocks, I'm telling you. Every time I get in it, it's like, whoa. I took it downtown today. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
I took it for a trip. Yeah, it's just beautiful. And that car has got 60 miles per gallon, and it's doing us justice. It's 2001 is hers. I have a 2000. Yeah, love it. No, it's Technology Thursday. That's the name of the day. And you can talk about technology of any kind. You know, there's talk about...
What about the Sphere?
The Sphere. You want to talk about
Sphero, is it?
Sphero?
I can't remember.
What's that about?
Remember we saw it? Or we saw a video of it?
Oh, did we?
Yeah, at a
Oh, yeah,
convention.
the Sphero. What is the name of that? That's really cool.
SVHERO, I think.
Yeah,
2.0.
2.0. Check this out.
Sphero, yeah.
Check this out. This is really cool. You'll love it, everybody. This is for
It's
kids.
an app-controlled ball.
It's an application-controlled ball. Look at this.
It's just like a little ball, but we gotta find a video on it.
Watch video.
There we go.
Check this out. You'll love it. Your kids will love it too. Oh, we can't play this on camera. Dang.
Okay, now stay away from the zombie.
There's adults here. Hang on. Yeah, Vaughn has a strict policy of no kids on camera, but they're using this ball, and they're gonna basically toss it.
Yeah, obviously.
No, it's this ball.
One. Yeah.
These are adults. Look at that.
Color wheel.
Oh, that's a
pink.
kid. Yeah, see, I just can't trust. I
Just give the link, the
I will give the link, but I can't. I'm not allowed to play any kids on the Vaughn network. Yeah, I was pleased. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. It'll never happen again, Mark. Sorry. Sarah is not on meds. That's ridiculous. I didn't raise my voice. Yeah, I didn't bring any kids into the show, but that was a little ball that rolls around and it's controlled with an app, and they use a technology called gyroscopes. Gyroscopic technology that allows it to move in any which direction. I didn't mean to raise my voice, and I'm sorry I accidentally showed a couple kids there. So, I do believe in God. I have a personal relationship with the Lord. McNasty. Scissor fight. Why are you blocking your? What's going on? Are they censoring your statements? Yeah, that's funny. He censored his own link there. That was great. U.S. sets a new record for denying and censoring government files. Did you know that on the day, the Freedom of Information Day, Obama decided to pass an executive order outlawing any access to the White House through the Freedom of Information Network? The very day. And now they're setting a new record for denying censoring federal files under open government law. Look at this. For the second consecutive year, the Obama administration more often than ever, censored government files or outright denied access to them under the U.S. Freedom of Information Act. The government took longer to turn over files when it provided any, said more regularly than it couldn't find documents, and refused a record number of times to turn over files quickly that might be especially newsworthy. It is also acknowledged in nearly 1 in 3 cases that its initial decisions to withhold or censor records were improper under the law, but only when it was challenged. They asked for the White House guest list. It took 2 subpoenas to get it from this guy, and he claimed to be a transparent president. Thank you, McNasty. Yes, I know. The NSA is. They're watching everybody. They're watching you, me, everybody. Sarah's not crying. You have a chemo brain because you cannot think quickly today. Were you drinking a lot of fluoride? That can cause lower brain neural synapses in your cerebrum. Dave, does the government have alien spacecrafts? Nope, we gave them all back to the aliens.
They add fluoride to a lot of the bottled water.
I don't have any nudes. JTV sucks. Yeah, I tend to use non-fluoridated toothpaste. I will use fluoridated toothpaste if I really want to save a tooth. Because there are studies that show that topical fluoride works to prevent cavities. But no way has there ever been a study that proved that putting fluoride in our water is going to somehow help us prevent cavities. I would get into reverse osmosis. I got one into our sink here. It's great. Works fantastic. It gets rid of out of 500 parts per million total dissolved solids we have in our water, we're down to about maybe 12 when we drink it. 10 to 12. And then if you really want to purify it, you can even purify it beyond that.
Yeah, with UV filtration.
Yeah, they can record your voice. Flames Were Golfin says NSA can record your voice from common devices you have in your house, like your cell phones. I don't know how sophisticated the thing is. Somebody said that they have a pixel in every TV that can turn into a camera. I find that hard to believe. Considering how big cameras have to be. I mean, we've got a remote camera here that's live. That's really a cheap camera. We use our Amber Cam. I'll bring it into the show for a second. It's right here, you know. It's really a cheap camera, and this is a good camera. This is the one we're broadcasting on. We just got this about two weeks ago. This is a 1080p camera. But you can tell the camera, really crappy Logitech camera, is not so good, but the lens is about, I'd say, 1/8 of an inch wide. You can only imagine how bad an eighth of it, like a pixel would be if you were taking a picture of a pixel. Well, if you want to go back and talk about every detail and pick every single issue apart, let's go issue by issue. But you're trying to be a nitpicker on me. Nobody's perfect, and I'm not alleging to be perfect, but you're trying to nitpick me, and it's not my ego that's wounding. It's your entire approach to this entire show. You have never appreciated our ideas. You're too busy detail-oriented, and you're too fastidious, and you're unable to see the big picture. You're one of those guys that gets caught in the middle of the forest because you can't see the forest from the trees. You're lost. You run a video production studio using nothing but teddy bears nanny cams. Wow, look at that. Teddy bear nanny cams. There you have it. The one I'm on now is really good, Zarko, yeah. No, I never said I was perfect. Oh, we have a visitor outside? Let me go get the door. You must think we've been broadcasting for like 2 or 3 hours. We've got over 6,500 hours of broadcasting under our belt. We've managed to get through all kinds of incredible attacks by trolls and hackers and spam artists, and you just don't get it. We are not going to be sliding into your realm. We don't stoop to your level. Thank you. Well, I'm glad you appreciate our show. We do a lot of interaction with the chat room, and we want to talk about politics tonight and how we can steer politics toward allowing solar rooftops. Too often, the Democrats, Republicans kowtow to the oil lobby, and that's contaminated our entire approach at getting low-cost energy and cheap electricity. Last year was the highest amount of electricity everyone has been paying. We had a record high-priced electricity thing for the entire nation. And it's going to get worse, too, because the coal oil concern, the coal oil lobby, is working diligently on the side to prime the pockets of politicians in the Democratic Republican Party, preventing any real advancements in technology. But it's happening all around the world, so they can't stop it. You know, America is stunted. You don't see a maglev rail train like you see one in Shanghai. We are really stunted. We have to really rethink what we've been doing. I mean, we're not going to get a maglev rail time anytime soon. This is a 10-year-old video I'm going to play you. It was developed for the Northwest Maglev.
Okay. Yeah, the Northeast Maglev, are you right?
Right, Northeast Maglev.
Northeast Maglev. Excuse me. I'm going to move your screen over here so I can actually see something.
Great, great. Yeah, so the Northeast Maglev was great. Yeah, where is it?
I don't know where all your videos are. You didn't label it Northeast Maglev, so
yeah.
Except that's what you're always looking for. So there it is, the Northeast Maglev. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to rename it.
That would help, yeah. There we go. That's great. Okay, I'll click on it.
No, it's up under N.
There it is. This was a 10-year-old video, literally. You can see the cars are old too.
You should have them come out and look at that your electric bill. If it was 840, when it's usually 300, there could be some kind of leak in your heating system. Could have been that you used your heating system a lot.
Let me turn the volume down here for you.
Oh, that might be helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if your electric bill is a lot higher than it would be, you might have some kind of electric leak happening that you want to get checked out by the electric company.
You can lose a lot of heat energy in your ducts. So have your electric company, if they offer this service, retrofit, check your ducts to make sure all of the heat seals are in there. Sometimes they go in there with like a goopy material that locks out any crevices that may be leaking. Any kind of insulation you can do in your air ducts would really help your electric bill. I know, and that's right. They spend money on things that we don't need and donate to other countries without the people's permission.
That's an interesting idea, 5056. I've never heard that anyone suggest it before. It's a very interesting proposal. I like it.
I heard about a building of a high-speed train down and up California, but it's not in any way like a maglev. It is nothing. The high-speed rail system that the Democrats have thrown a lot of money at can't do anything like this. The top speeds of that rail system are 65 miles per hour. This is a 350 mile per hour rail system that's been designed in theory to run from DC to New York. This is a very viable solution. There's been talk about one in Las Vegas to Los Angeles. There's a lady that's dedicated her life to creating one of these things. She's been spending all her time working on the side for almost no money to promote a maglev from LA to New York, or LA to Vegas. The projected cost, about $15 billion. There's talk about a hypercoil system like the one that Elon Musk is promoting, but he himself is not developing it. But a hypercoil system could draw a lot of interest. It's like those gas chutes that you go to the bank, you send things to the teller. They go into a vacuum and then they shoot right through there. That's how we could get around. But the cost up front for a maglev rail system is just too much over the long. And then speed kills, yeah. Well, if I can get you 300 miles per hour in this unit, this is the blimp pack concept.
I don't know if it could go.
Well, I do know. I'm testing it out. I believe it could easily top 300 miles per hour.
Especially because there's jets that usually go 3,000 miles in 2 hours.
Yeah, well, this will take 10 hours to cross the country. It's the blimp pack idea, and I won't spend any of your tax money to build this. It's just going to be something that we can implement using a strategy to save the ailing infrastructure that is potentially going to be thrown away. I mean, all these 747s that we have in our fleet right now, they're now 40 years old. They're going to be 50, 60 years old soon, and many of them cost $360 million. Well, this idea that I came up with will harness the use of these jets for cargo and for slow travel from LA to New York, 10 hours, going 300 miles per hour. Yeah. And the biggest part about energy costs for a plane is getting the plane up in the air. Well, this automatically floats in the air and then takes off from there. No, it's not dangerous. In fact, every blimp pack unit will have 4 parachutes, making the entire vehicle crash-proof. And they'll deploy if there's ever a problem with the blimp or the dirigible. It'll be a carbon fiber substructure, an exoskeleton made out of highly strong carbon fiber material, a Kevlar outer layer, and the entire unit will be strapped on to a 747, and it will have a small propeller in the back of the unit, which will guide it to tethered positions where it has to dock. But usually the jets will kick on at half speed. They'll have limiters so that they won't go beyond a certain speed. Therefore, there won't be a lot of stress in the jet. We'll be able to get another 50 to 100 years out of every one of the 747s that we have in our fleet right now. Yes, the blimp is big enough. I'm testing it out right now in my wind tunnel. Yeah, I can get it to lift. I've got a projected total of the amount of weight necessary we can carry if it's fully loaded with 100 passengers. But 500 passengers? I don't know. Yeah, some of them are really fat too. And some of those people are going to want to sleep there, and they'll have to have air filters inside the cargo area. We're going to have something to clean the air because some people sleep and they fart while they're sleeping. I don't know if this has happened to you. But yeah, so some of the cabins will have to have air filtration. Companies now offering cloud seeding devices to control the weather. Learn more. Oh, wow.
I already have that link open. It's right there.
Gotcha. Well, maybe we should try to get some of these companies to send cloud seeding devices down to California. Does anyone want to put together a trust fund to order climate change down in California?
Pardon?
Yeah, would you like to see the clouds in California because they've got a massive drought there? What do you think of that concept? Maybe contacting this company and saying how much would it cost to make rain for California, for instance? It's no longer a conspiracy theory. The most wealthy and powerful can control regional weather patterns using cloud seeding technology. The sky has literally become a sandbox, a playground, and the world's elite have access to the technology, allowing them to use the weather to their advantage. That is mind-blowing and extremely disturbing. Now is the time for Sponheim. Should we put a slush fund together and see if we can finance water for California? Would anyone like to get a petition to get that together? I don't know if we would have to wear a methane butt plug. We'd just filter the air in the cabin. I don't think they have any air filters in any of the jets in America. That's why when you go on a cross-country tour, the chances of getting a contagious pandemic is pretty high.
There's a link to the company, North America.
Yeah. And you can also go to weathermodification.com too. That's another competitive service run by the Rothschilds. Yeah, check it out, weathermodification.com, or you can actually get all your weather update information when you control weather, and they'll give you basically hour-to-hour weather predictions that are actually true and will come true automatically. They can make it happen. That is scary, isn't it? There's no work going on that isn't shared by Sarah and I.
David's done all the work recently.
We both put about 50% into this. Yeah, don't they already have those underground tunnels? They do, but I don't have any photos of them. Nobody does. Okay, we got a 1 minute and 21 second video we'd like to show you about the NSA having a backdoor into your computer. Let's take a look at that. Let's find out how breached we are.
Russian security software company Kaspersky Lab exposes U.S. cyber espionage program. Moscow-based Kaspersky Lab claims that a cyber espionage group, which analysts said was connected with the NSA, has installed a backdoor on many personal computers. According to Kaspersky Lab, spies obtain hard drive source codes directly from major hard drive manufacturers such as Western Digital and Seagate. Having the source code allowed the spies to rewrite a computer's hard drive and implant spyware within the computer's firmware. Firmware loads all the low-level drivers that manage a computer's interfaces such as keyboards and displays. Each time a computer is turned on, the corrupted firmware is activated, and spies are able to gain access to folders and operating system components.
Yep.
Computers in 30 countries have been compromised. Pakistan, Afghanistan, Mali, Syria, China, Russia, Yemen, Algeria, and Iran were particularly targeted. Targets included Islamic activists, military institutions, banks, and energy companies. Kaspersky said the spying campaign was closely related to Stuxnet, malware used by the NSA to attack Iran's nuclear program. Former intelligence operatives told Reuters that Kaspersky's conclusions were accurate and said the NSA uses these tools for intelligence gathering.
Wow. She was really very excited about everything she said. It's like reading off a script, and it's like,
Yep.
Yeah, I must tell you that we are dedicated, both of us, to sharing responsibilities for the development of our show. And being we've done, over 1,875 shows now, we have dedicated 6,500 hours and growing to this ongoing effort to create a third party. We kept the ball rolling through thick and thin, and to come in here and denigrate our show is a bannable offense. I want all of you to know that.
Yes, you did talk me out of cutting my hair.
We ignore them, yes, we do. We've already grown up. Yeah. The point I'm making is that we can't control this medium. This technology is completely unleashed. Unlike Brian Williams, who says one thing out of ordinary after 25 years of broadcasting, and they suspend him. We have an ongoing show which is impromptu, extemporaneous, daily, which nobody could have pulled off, and we have to deal with the medium of trolls. We don't mind dealing with that medium and even responding to them and telling people about how serious the situation is. The censors of the mainstream media are so strong, they will never let a third party grow, let alone even get airtime. We're getting your time right now, and I appreciate that, but this is not what freedom of speech is all about. Freedom of speech should be equal protection under the law and equal access for everybody. Having a person do a blog show on the blogosphere somewhere out there is nothing compared to playing on CNN or even having a large network show on ABC, CBS, or NBC. Yeah, they got airtime because they both actually spent a lot of money to do that, and they had a lot of momentum to do that, but that wasn't a lot of airtime. Ross Perot himself was pushed out of the scene even with $100 million to spend. So you can see how daunting the effort he put in was for him. Many people on the internet are morons, no question about it. You know, I think Obama is choosing another black person to fill the role of a black person, and I think that's prejudicial. Loretta Lynch is not the only person qualified to fill the role for Eric Holder. Loretta Lynch is another black person, and you know, I'm raising the specter of prejudice here because it seems to me that he's choosing strictly black people for key positions in our national security, like Jay Johnson, the leader, director, secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. I'm not looking at her race. I'm only having to analyze the simple fact that we've got a black person replacing another black person. That's another issue to talk about. I'm sure there are many other people with qualifications just as much as she has to run that office. You're on the air. Go ahead. We got a call from Willie Pickles tonight. Willie, what's up?
Oh, hello there. What's going on tonight, Dave?
Willie?
I got my black voice on tonight.
I still think this is Ed.
Oh, man. I hear you talking about Loretta Lynch and all that bunch.
Yeah.
What do you think about, what's his name, Durbin calling the Republicans racist because they won't confirm her? Even though Durbin didn't vote for,
I think it's right.
For Condoleezza Rice.
I don't think it is.
Does that make him a racist?
Yeah, that's the point. I mean, there's this racism back and forth going on. You know, we've got just as much reverse racism coming at the white people in America as the black people are getting what they call racism. So let's just drop the racist thing and get down to the qualifications of the individual. If Loretta Lynch is more qualified than anyone else to take that job, then of course, yeah. But I doubt that. And there seem to be pandering to black people to get black people replaced by black people. I mean, this is a classic case of racial prejudice. Classic. And I'm really sad about that because I don't believe in racism at all. I'm a non-racist guy. I've never done anything racist in my life. I've never made a racist slur, that's for sure. I don't consider impersonating a president in blackface racism.
That's the number one play in the playbook.
That is their play.
Call everybody racist.
They call everybody a racist. That's right, Willie. Willie, are you black or white?
Well, I can't say. I might be mulatto. I might be both.
Wait, I understand. Let's not even go there. What difference does it make whether you're black or white anyway? Why did I even ask that question?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why did you even ask that question?
That's right.
I could be three different kinds of peoples. I might have a little Asian in it too.
What area code is? What area code is 212 area code? Are you in New York by any chance, or are you in New Mexico, Willie?
I'm not new. I'm in Florida.
Florida, okay, yeah, that's a good answer.
I told you.
Yeah, I'm looking for one of them cheap houses you try to give that guy that night. You know them cheap houses you were trying to give him on what's that site you was on? Man, them houses are in the ghetto in Orlando. Them things are terrible, man.
Yeah. I know. You know, I was trying to set you with some free land one night. I remember there's free land in Kansas. Everybody, if you didn't know that.
Well, you have to be willing to build a stick frame in about a year, but
Let's not scare them away. I mean, free land in Kansas.
what about go to Colorado? I saw free land there.
Yeah, but they charge for water. They charge for
When do I get
water.
my reparations? I want my 40 acres of my mule. When do I get that?
Land, I just want you. Colorado.
I understand,
And
but
Alaska.
there's no homestead renewal plan that gives you an opportunity to have a house of your own, Willie.
Well, can I get 80 acres and 2 mules under your plan?
Let me give you the land link to Kansas, Freeland, Kansas, everybody. They're offering free building lots to interested families who are looking for an extraordinarily small town in the heart of America to call home. The building lots are located in the Westridge Addition development on the west edge of town, with a beautiful open views of the evening sunset and wide open rolling fields. I mean, that sounds like bliss, doesn't it, baby? That's what I'm talking about, Willie.
Well, David, I don't mind moving up there. Can I borrow some money for a U-Haul to get there?
Yeah, I know. Well, it sure sounds like you're Ed. Boy, I've recognized Ed's voice.
This ain't no Ed.
Okay.
My name ain't Ed. This is Willie Pickles.
Willie Pickles. Okay. Well, that is a link for you. Yeah, but why are they giving that land away? Because they want people.
Also.
Okay, I appreciate that, Willie. Well, any other questions, you feel free to ask us anytime. Okay.
Dave, I have one last question. This is Willie Pickles' brother, Junior Pickles. Do you know anything about delayed ejaculation?
I knew there was something very strange to this Willie Pickles guy. It did not sound like it was on the up and up. In fact, I think they're on the up and up, but we're not privy to their up and up. All right. IRAD saw no fuel or water remaining in reactor core 1. Wow. My God. It's meltdown time at the Fukushima reactor, everybody, as if it couldn't get any weirder. The Diary of Fukushima. Dun, 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 dun. That's actually a procession for... Hold on. Hold your horses. Here's the Fukushima Diary. Watch that. Watch the dial. Watch the bouncing ball. Let's take a look. We'll read this for you. Okay, here's a full diary. Confirmed effects to be confirmed, spent fuel pools.
We use a program called XSplit at Mr. McPherson.
IRAD saw no fuel or waters remaining in reactor core of reactor 1. This is a serious problem. This meant that a breach could occur.
Correct.
Creating meltdown scenario. The scenario is commonly titled China Syndrome. Doot. Question. I will definitely say that Sarah and I have been on screen 70% of the time.
90.
I'm going to say 70 to be honest, because you spent a lot of time being on screen in the early days. Okay, I think we may have a little problem here with the guest chat. So I'm going to do guest off. Thank you.
I'll type in a link for you when David's done.
We'd love to do that. Thank you. Okay, now no guest chat. Thank you. Go ahead. Oh, a 75-mile wide volcano caldera. You want to sit in my lap, Amber? Come on over here. Named Mount Osal in Japan is erupting right now on webcam. Ash coming from main crater. Come on, Amber. Come on. Go through here.
There you go. I think it's .com. It might be .org.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
We've got the time. I'm going to bring in the other camera here.
You're welcome. It was like, there was a fee for it.
Yeah, it's free initially, though.
But yeah, there's some aspects you could use for free.
Okay, we'll get the cat cam on here. There she is. Beautiful Amber Bamber, the kitty cat extraordinaire. Her whole name is Amber Ellen Poe, and she's the literary cat.
I can't remember. But I paid for a 5-year license.
It was $100, I think, for the 5-year license.
Yeah, I think it was. It was actually, I mean, I think it was free forever for certain features, but other features, if you wanted other features, you had to pay.
No, Amber is not an alcoholic, but Edgar Allan Poe was.
Well, she does like her catnip.
She's a catnipaholic.
Hello, evil enmity.
All right. I don't know how my chair got so low.
In the White House. In fact, you made it low. I don't know. In fact, the Clintons had a cat in the White House that actually stayed in the White House after they left. Socks. Yes, socks.
That's right. She likes that. She's liking her rub. Cool. Yeah, Socks the kitty was a celebrity, but now Hillary has her own little her pet problem now. She has a husband that can't seem to control himself. Now the question is, will Hillary stay in the lead among the nominees for the presidency in the Democratic Party? And who would basically bump her out of position at a late date? I mean, many people aren't even asking the question who would replace Hillary for the Democratic ticket. And I would recommend maybe Jon Stewart. I think Jon Stewart would make an excellent replacement for Hillary. He doesn't make any commitments. He can't answer any questions. He won't respond to anybody with new ideas. I mean, he'd be perfect to replace Hillary. Go ahead. Jim Cramer's calling. Oh my gosh. Jim Cramer, go ahead. You're from CNN, right?
MSNBC, sir. I switched. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing great, Jim. What's your concern?
I have a question. I need a little bit of help for my show. What do you think about ExxonMobil? Do you think it's going up or down?
You know, I think
about OPEC.
Bottom
conversation here.
Serious, yeah, okay. The oil prices are dipping so low that investments in futures probably would make sense, but the oil companies are not even seeing a profit, so they're losing money left and right. But you notice that the price of gas hasn't gone in half, even though the oil barrels have gone in half or more. And that's because they still need to make money to keep the industry rolling.
As far as ExxonMobil, I think that you're going to see. You'll probably, I mean, I'm not a stock expert, but I think that you'll probably see prices go up as soon as the negotiations are reached with their union. So keep an eye on that. And but you know, it won't go up until then.
I wouldn't make an investment.
Then I think it might be going up. There's some recent friends of ours that actually made some money by selling to people who thought oil was going up when it wasn't. So you have to be a little bit careful.
Yeah. Would you invest in oil?
Short in the market. Was that the first lady? Because I can't see you guys right now. I just call in randomly because I love you guys.
Yeah.
But was that the first lady?
It was.
Okay. How you doing, Miss? Okay.
This is Sarah Hart.
Yeah. So you guys agree with Saudi Arabia and the Middle East trying to bankrupt the shale companies so they can't pay off the loans that they have to making oil so cheap that it's not worth it to drill, and that way Exxon and the big companies will come in and buy them. Is this about right?
Yeah, that's basically what's happening. The Balkan oil fields have already fired 25,000 workers, and even companies like Marathon Oil in Houston, they're laying off 500 people. The situation is getting bleak for oil companies itself. BP is screaming there's something wrong here.
I think it has more to do with Russia than it has to do with Saudi Arabia, the current oil prices.
BP's been doing. You guys are really intelligent. By the way, you don't need me to tell you that, but you guys really are. But I want to tell you, BP, right?
Yeah.
They're having a lot of trouble, and everyone's down on BP.
Yeah.
But BP is the number one supplier of oil in the United States. The number one.
I believe
Wow.
it. Yeah.
You can look. Yeah, so they're not going anywhere.
No.
I mean, they're going through some hard times right now.
Right.
But, but go ahead. Yeah, I'd like to hear what you have to say if you don't mind.
They have found
final word.
Sure. They have found Shell Oil has found $1.6 trillion worth of oil, or even by today's value, maybe $1 trillion worth of oil, off the coast of Florida. And this was a 10-year search that they had, digging deep, looking for a shelf of oil there, and they finally found it. So they spent 10 years researching and developing the oil supply off the coast of Florida. We're not going to abandon oil wells that are currently operating, and I don't believe we ever will abandon them, but we need to make more environmental safeguards preventing leaks. And I think drilling closer to the shore is a safer way. I don't think it was wise to drill a mile out and a mile deep. And I think that led to the Deepwater Horizon situation that we have today. And that oil is still down there. We were talking about developing environmental barges that would suck that oil from the bottom of the ocean. It's still sitting there, literally. I mean, we could tap into the oil right in the Gulf of Mexico now. There's so much oil. So think of that as a future technology. Barges that suck oil and disperse the oil and separate it. Technology's there for sure. Yeah. But yeah, oil is a renewable. I believe that oil is a renewable resource, despite what the Democrats claim that it's not. I believe that it is. And when you look at the dynamic of the Earth itself and the core and the magma and how it's able to heat up, it's no different than a stove cooking things up. It'll generate liquids out of carbon.
And to correct a chatter in our room, BP actually drilled that far out within the Gulf of Mexico, not to keep the danger away from shore. It was to keep the look of the oil rigs away from shore, because so that the environmentalists wouldn't complain.
Right. So ironically, environmentalists led to the disaster we know as the Gulf of Mexico oil spill. Ironically, when you look at how everything evolved in the oil industry. Yeah.
Right. What was that? No, but have you ever heard of DeGlary Holdings off the subject of oil? I appreciate the feedback on that. Yeah. Great stuff there.
DeGlary Holdings.
Familiar with DeGlary Holdings?
No.
Okay. Well, yeah, that was it.
Okay.
But very good conversation about that. I really do appreciate all that you guys do on the show, and wish you guys the best of luck. And we look forward, so keep coming on every night, okay?
We do, and we will.
Watch you guys too.
Absolutely, yeah. That's why we're here. We do this show every night. We've been doing it for 6 years now, going on 6.5.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, you have a great night, Dave.
Thank you. You too, man. Thanks for calling. Bye-bye. Jim Kramer, real live news guy. Yeah, thanks. Jim's just hanging out probably in his apartment, didn't want to, take a lot of time away from his job. But it's great to have a conversation. This is a tie, it cannot be fixed. It's a Ron Shearskin. It's a handmade silk tie that I can't fix, okay? It's as good as it gets. Oh yeah, I'm sure he's really a Jim Kramer, and that's really going to work out real well for us. Okay. Breaking news, making it mandatory law for U.S. citizens to vote. Obama is trying to push a law forcing people to vote. Can you believe this? Again. You know what I'm...
with all the banning things or making things mandatory. I mean, that's one thing that we're not into here.
We're not.
This third party. It's like, why ban things or make things mandatory?
Right.
That's my point. Just allow people to exist.
Yeah, just let people be. Let it be, let it be,
Mikey
let it
Time
be.
Says no, he's not. Read the speech. Okay.
Let it be.
Gosh.
Crystal words of wisdom, let it be. They say the only two things that are certain in life are death and taxes. Well, Obama wants to add one more thing, voting. Obama floated the idea of mandatory voting in the U.S. while speaking to a civic group in Cleveland on Wednesday, asking about the corrosive influence of money in the U.S. elections, or asked about it. Obama digressed into the related topic of voter rights and said the U.S. should make it easier, not harder, for people to vote. So instead of talking about the corrosive influence of money in the U.S. elections, he talked about voting rights. The guy didn't even answer the guy's question. Well, if everyone voted, then it would be completely change the political map in this country. Well, that's not about the corrosive influence of money in U.S. elections, Obama. Wow. He won't even answer a question. This is unbelievable. We've got the most incompetent teleprompter reading poser of a president we could ever have. This is a sad day for America. And then he wants to make it mandatory for people to vote. No, that was not a CNN correspondent from Twitch, Golden Orbs. We don't know who that person is. The CNN correspondent who's following us on Twitch, we have no idea. If all people voted, that would be transformative. Read the crap. Whatever, Monkey Times. You're the reigning commie in the room, so you tell us what he said. You read his commie speak and his left-wing speak and just translate it for us so we'll know exactly what this commie president is trying to push on the American people. Hey, Shrek. Welcome.
The
Wow.
caller claimed to be Jim Cramer.
He said he was Jim Cramer, yeah. He sounded kind of uppy, kind of up and hyper like Jim is. BP double book. Oh no, Willie, no. After that last conversation, you've been cut off, man. No, she'll never change her hair color unless she lightens it.
Unless I get all gray.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of gray, but that just makes me look wise.
That high-pitched noise is a fan coming from the computer down below. Well, let's be clear. Go ahead. Guess 5321, okay. Go ahead, guess 5321, what's up?
Hey, Dave, I understand you get a lot of trolls up in here and they disrupt your show, but, I'm a hard-working professional. I come here to watch you and Sarah talk politics and, whatever else you want to share with us. And, every time I try to do that, I end up getting cut off because some jerk, ends up making you guys upset.
Yeah.
And then you turn off the guest chatting. I just feel like I'm wasting my time coming here if I can't participate.
Well, you can definitely make an account for free. I mean,
yeah.
All you need is a...
Yeah, but I only come here for ATP, and I just can't really see the point of going through all that.
This is what I've been saying all along, yeah.
Send it off to everybody.
I hear you, man. I hear you. And we are growing faster in some ways because this movement is growing like crazy. I want to keep guests on all the time. I only shut it off earlier because we were getting hosed by all kinds of spam attacks. But, as a rule, I thank you for calling because this is important to a lot of people. As a rule, we'll turn it off and then turn it on just 5 minutes later. I won't keep it off like I've been doing. We'll try to turn it back on right away. But, yeah, I totally get it.
What about having mods in your channel or something so you guys can just ignore it and then let somebody else take care of it?
We tried doing mods, and it used to work, but it became unnecessary. And mods tend to think it's like a one-upmanship thing. One person wants mods, another person feels they've been slighted. They're supporters. They feel like they're being tossed aside. We don't want that to happen.
It's that we put up with more.
All these regular people in here, they're just all guest discriminators, and it's just not fair to those of us that are trying to have a legitimate conversation with future president of the United States.
Yeah, yes, I know. It's definitely a problem, but we're going to have more control in the future, of course, when we run a chat room out of the White House. But it's not something we can control. It's in the nature of the medium we're in. The technology we're in allows for everybody to come in.
We are casting on Ustream. I don't monitor the chat over there.
Yeah, we're not monitoring Ustream right now.
I appreciate your consideration. I know you have a lot to deal with. People troll you, but there are some of us guests out here that really do want to know what you have to say. So yeah. I hope that you'll just keep that in mind for future reference.
I will.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling, too, and reminding us. Appreciate it. All right. Take care.
Thank you. You guys have a good night, and I enjoy your show.
Thank you for calling, guest. Bye-bye. Okay, guest 32 something. That's really cool. Not something that I was not real happy about cutting guests off for that same reason. Delivery of U.S. weapons and ammunition to Commander wiretaps ISIS communications. A commander of Iraq's Popular Forces disclosed that wiretapping of ISIL communications confirmed reports that the U.S. planes have been airdropping food and arms supplies for the Takfiri terrorists. Wow. That Takfiri terrorist group, commander of Iraqi's battalion, told the FNA, has been getting supplies from our government. This confirms our concern. Thank you very much. That's Global Research. Fairly liberal website, but a very good one. globalresearch.ca.
Willie Pickles, we are casting on Ustream and Vaughn at the same time.
Dave, Mr. Sponheim, will there be yearly maintenance costs? The freshwater pipeline? I feel you're dodging the question because of the cost. Actually, no, I'm not dodging the question. I didn't really see it, Six Color Patch. But the seawater pipeline, which I haven't talked about tonight, and for those of you who don't know about it, is a simple plan. You can check it out at oceanpipeline.com. We have a website set up for you to look at it. But it involves building modules like this that are completely transparent evaporation chambers lined up in a row or in a matrix and provide desalination capabilities for freshwater needs. Now you can put. Oh, Amber, that's so cute. She's sitting in here. You can definitely put salt water or even sewage in there. I mean, it'll handle anything. I'm not saying sewage, but salt water is the ideal medium, and it'll desalinate it by letting it evaporate on the inside walls of the chambers. And these are then stacked together like this, and they'll have an output of fresh water on the other side. So in the middle of the unit. Oh, I hear you. You want to sit in my lap or what? This cat's kind of like expecting something. So in the middle of the unit is the seawater. It evaporates and falls down to the sidewalls on the inside through passive means. There's no extra desalination systems going on here. And we can use layering of various filters as well. And we can get about 10 gallons per day out of each module. Well, across a large area, that could be 250,000 to 1 million gallons a day of fresh water. They're not that detailed, but thank you. All right, David's certified to take your phone calls. Operators are standing by if you want to call in. 707, your ATP is the phone number to call.
Bill Gates says robots represent a twin threat.
I know, and I heard Bill Gates talking about it, but here's a guy who supports, ironically, he's supporting a global world order, and then he claims that AI is a threat. We have a greater threat from a global world order than we do from AI, because a global world order would control all computer technology and all robots and all unmanned vehicles and use it to their advantage. So ironically, Bill Gates talking about robots taking over and overpowering us being his big concern, and then at the same time embracing a global world order is just crazy. Shows you where his politics are. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, you have to name your name in order to actually be accepted into the call. We just can't accept anybody. Sarah's, yeah, you're looking great. If you feel like you need to rest, anything you want to do, you're entirely welcome.
Leaving in 8 minutes.
Okay, Sarah's going to be taking off in 8 minutes. I'll be doing another hour, the after show.
Maybe you should take this time to get some coffee and take
Good
a
idea.
break.
I will take a little break and I'll be right back. Thank you so much, everybody. Okay.
Yeah, I think let's see what he says about a twin threat as far as here. So Bill Gates worries about robot world. He is concerned that too many things may go wrong for humanity. He offered 2 threat scenarios, both of which are deeply uncomfortable. He said just the labor substitution problem. And he says that should be a solvable issue because that's really just about everybody becoming rich enough that robots could take away all the jobs, which I think is a good thing. The less we have to work, really. All right. No. And, let's see. He says it's just happening at such a rapid pace that a lot of people will be unprepared. And then the second threat, he said, is the issue of greater than human intelligence. And so there's people looking into how can you control AI becoming more intelligent than humans. Interesting. Okay, I'm glad I summarized that article. Stop asking multiple choice questions. I'm done answering your questions for Monday Cheese. I've answered enough of them. I just concentrate too much on things that are irrelevant. It's time to concentrate on making this world a better place. Yeah, I tend to agree with you, 8170, is that the robots will do all the heavy lifting in the future, and we're always going to need intelligent people to design the robots. Yes, I understand from Under Cheese, but I'm finished. Some of them don't run on power plugs, 5126, when they have onboard battery systems, and they know where their own onboard battery systems are, and they have the potential to take you out before you reach their onboard battery system. Yes, there's going to have to be certain things in place to prevent them from taking over, but it's interesting. Okay. Oh, sorry. No, it was, you shouldn't have had your friend on there, Willie. You gotta control your phone conversations. Yet, you are here having a conversation with me from Under Cheese. What should you rather be doing? What should you be doing right now? Alright. What can you do to help humanity? Nope. I'm not going to make anybody do anything. That's what I would do. Yes, now David's working to change the system. Correct. I hate when those are... I'm going to get rid of this Gateway Pundit article. I mean, it just looks so weird. So an IRID, what is this from? FukushimaDiary.com said something about they saw no fuel or water remaining in reactor core of Reactor 1. International Research Institute for Nuclear Decommissioning and the High Energy Accelerator Research Organization announced they could not find a potential part of nuclear fuel in reactor core of Reactor 1. This is March, okay. So they couldn't find anything longer than 1 meter in reactor core where originally fuel assemblies were set. So there's no fuel assembly and no water. Did it all just dissipate into the atmosphere? That's really interesting. Thank you, 5126. That's exactly right. No, I'm not David's sibling. Exactly. I agree with you, 9985. Really what increases my wrinkles is me going like, what? Like being shocked all the time. I think that's why David has wrinkles up here, and that's why I'm getting them right now. Alright. Do I have a cold? I don't think so. I still have the fake teeth. I just haven't worn them in a while. Thank you, 5126. They assume the fuel remains inside the pool, but the size is not identified. Huh. Interesting. Okay. All right. I'll leave that there. Or do I need to? I don't know. That's fine. Thank you, Counterhook. There was no thrown out thing. 5356. He just decided no longer to attend. Part of it had to do with finances. Yeah, Spectra, it does get crude when I'm on here by myself. No, I'm not going out anyway. Alright. I don't need that anymore, I don't think. I'll leave that up for him, and then I was going to just check out what's going on in the news. I mean, all of your questions are irrelevant. Really? That's interesting. 3843. I never heard that. LIBOR. Why do it? Just because the phone rings doesn't mean you need to answer it. So Netanyahu won his election in Israel. FBI is investigating the hanging death of a black man in Mississippi. I believe in legalization not only for the state of Washington, but nationwide. However, I myself will never smoke marijuana even when it is legalized, because that's a decision I made for myself. Just like I do believe everyone should be educated about the effects of marijuana, the effects of cigarettes, the effects of alcohol, etc., and other drugs, and choose to make that decision for themselves. I'm a straight edge person just because that's who I am. That's what I do, I guess. I don't need to be, I don't need to engage in any kind of mind altering substances to have fun. What stock would I invest in if I had 10 grand? I would probably spread out the 10 grand and 1 grand in different stocks. I would probably look for stocks that yielded some dividends. But, I definitely believe in tech, so I would probably look for 3 different stocks that were tech industries that yielded dividends. Then I would also look in the,
okay. Take care.
Maybe a REIT.
Thank you. Take care, man.
Real
Bye-bye.
estate investment trust, 1 or 2 in that. And then I would also I would consider some energy, 1 energy stock, something like that. But I also think that putting money in a mutual fund is very good because they kind of average everything out.
We had a call from one of our supporters who's having some problems with her car, and I give him some tips. IBM is a very good tech stock over the years, Tony. But, you know, IBM is one of those stocks that is tested true against the test of time. The possibility that we've got a problem with our technologies getting too top-heavy. Apple, for instance, they want to spend $165 billion on a car, an Apple car. $165 billion can buy you more than one Apple car. I mean, they could make a flying car for that price. So I'm not really sure where they're going. I hope they're going that direction.
He also owns SpaceX, so maybe he wants to merge the two.
It's their money. It came out of my pocket. They can cry if they want to. That's not true. Sarah was not happier when I was out of the room.
I was quite disturbed with all the conversations that people were trying to have with me. All right.
Thank you so much.
I always do that thing with my eyes, and it's like, and then I get more wrinkles. It's awful.
Yeah, try not to move your face. Just like be plastic. That's what I will do when I'm turned 80 years old. I'll just walk around like this.
I'll take my plastic face in the other room now.
Okay.
Good night.
Take care, Sarah. Thank you so much for coming in.
You're welcome.
See, wasn't that nice? She spent, 40 minutes in the show, I think. Thank you.
No, that was not 40 minutes.
30 minutes.
That was an hour and a half.
An hour and a half? My God, it was an hour and a half. It was, I know. I can't even tell. I've lost track of time.
So you keep thinking I spend like 10 minutes in the show when I spend more than that.
No, you've been, believe me, that brought your average right up to 45 over the whole long run. Thank you. Gee, I didn't want to make her feel undervalued, I'm trying to bring her time up on camera, yeah. I know, that was some great conversation with Sarah. Sarah chat. I'm not super high. My God. I'm sick of the solar panels too, yeah. And I'm sorry they're still out there as a background. I lost the whole solar panel thing, a half an hour ago. We are getting along very well. Oh, my teeth are missing. Hang on. Thank you. My teeth are missing. Well, she had me so flustered there. I normally don't walk into the show without my teeth on. I have three-dimensional teeth. They're press-on veneers. They're covering up the problem teeth that I have to fix. And I have to go to the dentist and spend $600. And I said, well, this is better because I can actually. Okay, my teeth are missing. I know. Well, they're pretty good. The 3D printing process is actually much better. No, I cannot eat with them unless I slurp. If I have a malt shake, I could drink a malt shake, but that's about it. Dave, it's me, Big Boy, from the dating site. How are you tonight, sweetie? I don't go to dating sites, man. What the hell's wrong with you? Elon wants to make your Tesla drive itself. Is that legal? Well, a lot of people are talking about a car that can run itself. Yeah, you want to do some car repair tips? Anyone have any questions about their cars? I have a lot of inside information about vehicles. I'm an automotive intuitive. Yeah, I can answer any of your car problems simply by focusing my mind, my mental acuity, in the direction. And I'm going to install this surveillance camera to watch you. Watch me. Watch you. Okay? I showed you my real teeth earlier. Thank you. No, I do not believe blacks are in any way inferior to whites. I think we're all equal. We're all people. Yes, the IQ tests are very real. But that's irrelevant. We have individual intelligences that are all special. Brian, wow. Any question on your automobile, Brian? What can I do for you? I'm an automotive intuitive. Go ahead.
Okay. I got a legitimate question, Dave.
Okay.
Do you think we have to decontaminate the White House once the Obamas leave?
Would I decontaminate the Obama's White House once they leave? Yeah, it's the People's House. They changed the name from the White House. And yes, I'll be doing a thing called Kills. It's a product that you can get to cover the walls of every paint job that's been completely contaminated with crack or Newport cigarettes or any number of things. So yeah, it works real well. It'll turn a very soiled wall into something fresh, like a daisy. So let's take a look at the...
Also, too,
go ahead.
You know, also, once you run for president, you have to have full disclosure. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions tonight for full disclosure.
Yeah.
And you said you're retired, right?
I'm retired, yeah.
A pretty good amount, or what are you living on?
I didn't sell my business for anything, actually. I closed my business down when it was still solvent. I never went into bankruptcy or anything like that. And I retired on savings. So I said the economy sucks. The entire retail sector is dead in the water. I mean, I worked in the trenches with companies like Jewelers and Payday Advances and real estate companies, and I'm making TV commercials for them, and they said, we don't have any business. We can't afford advertising. So I closed down at that point. That's how I survive. I basically was smart with my money. In advertising, you know it's always feast and famine, so you make sure you get ready for the famine, and I was ready for the famine when I decided to retire. All right.
Do you think the price of silver is being manipulated?
Is this another caller? Yes, I believe the price of silver was manipulated for years now by the New York Mercantile, COMEX. They've been altering the market, and big companies like J.P. Morgan have a tremendous amount of buying power, and they've been able to buy up silver certificates and paper silver, so it changes the dimension of the precious silver market.
But didn't the Hunt brothers manipulate it for years?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Hunt brothers, many people have been investing heavily in the paper market, and it's not the same unless we can lock down on a market that is solidly connected to metal. We're going to be scrambling all over the place in speculation land, and that's what's happened. Same with oil. Oil futures were all over the place for 10 years, and now they're right down there at the production value of oil, $45 a barrel. What is it, $40 a barrel right now? I think so.
What do you think the direction of gold is going to? Do you think it's going to go down?
The direction of gold is definitely going. It's going to make its way back up. I'm sure of it. You may see a dip near 1,000 and then start its way back up. But once the real amount of gold is determined, and people right now are still living in a kind of a paper gold land as well. Once the real value is determined, people will start to see the skyrocketing price of gold. I don't believe necessarily 5,000 an ounce could happen soon, but you could definitely see it go up rapidly.
But then that would mean silver would go up as well too, right?
Yeah. Silver is 10 times harder to produce. Gold is 10 times harder to produce than silver, but gold is 40 times the price of silver. So being gold is 10 times harder to produce than silver, but 40 times the price, silver is still a better value because it's going to have an abundance of silver that it's going to keep rolling out. And in the long run, its ultimate goal is to see that price go up in your pocket. So you're going to want to cash out at a certain price. I kind of regret the fact I didn't sell a lot of silver right around it was $50.
Growth potential than gold, or what?
I do. I think a lot of people have felt that silver has more potential than gold, especially if you're buying in at low levels. Don't stop investing in a precious metal just because you can't afford it. Invest in something small like silver, and then build up from there. I know that's what Businessman did. He bought 28 rounds last week of silver. That was an interesting investment.
I would like to respectfully just correct you. Gold is actually 55 times more expensive than silver. But
thank you.
One question.
Thank you. That was 40 back then.
Where did you get your? You know a lot about it. You're well-rounded. You got everything covered. Where do you find the time and the day to cover all this stuff?
What keeps you going? Like, what do you spend your time? To acquire all your knowledge.
Yeah.
How to acquire all your knowledge.
Well, doing this show.
When it's trying to ask you.
That's right. Doing this show has really helped. The link sharing that's been going on our show has been amazing. Every night, I spend an hour and a half digesting the links that we do in the show. And I put them and log them into our delicious link library at America's Third Party. So you guys can access to 2,000 links that we've done for the past 4 or 5 years. Prior to that, we were just logging them in as records. But I digest those links, I read them, I watch the videos, some of them are directed to, and then I do a broad spectrum news roundup every morning. Between MSNBC and Google and others, I try to gather the highlights of the news and then process it and try to look for patterns. And I'm a guy who likes to see the big picture. I'm really into looking at the big picture, and I'm beginning to see a pattern to develop where our country continues to start wars. And it's not something that's beneficial for our nation. We don't have a vested interest in Syria or Ukraine, yet we're there, which is a fouled, foolish policy. It's a false policy that should never have been pursued. So there's something behind that. And as I look deeper, I realized that there was a document that was produced in 1975, a study that was done by the Rand Corporation. What would happen if America was at peace? How would the economy develop? And the document was so controversial that they didn't even publish it. Rand kept it secret. It said basically that during peacetime, America's going to tank financially. So that's why there's a big effort to create wars out there, and that's why our country's been involved in these wars, to keep the economy rolling. Go ahead.
That's very interesting. But why would help me understand, why would the economy tank if we were at peace?
Yeah, that was my concern too. But apparently our economy is almost entirely based on expansion of credit. We're not paying the bills. When you send your taxes in, it's not going to pay the bills for the government to run. It's going toward the interest on the debt that the government's acquiring as it's running. Yeah, so your money is not, your tax dollars are not going to keep it running. It's not a pay-as-you-go system. So what we're doing is basically enlarging credit so rapidly that they have to keep coming up with reasons to start enlarging the credit more. And right now they're running into a stall pattern at the Fed. Huh? Go ahead.
Is that what I'm sorry. You said, what was the word? It's like I'll research that. You said credit expansion?
Yeah, credit expansion.
What?
Right.
Okay.
They keep expanding credit. So say you have a debt of $50,000 and you're living with that debt. Well, our government doesn't have the restrictions an individual has, and the bank says, I'm sorry, Mr. Smith, we can't give you a loan. Our country simply says, well, we need more. So we keep printing up more. And because they're doing that through the Federal Reserve and in tandem with the Treasury, they keep expanding the amount of money in our circulation. That makes all of our dollars worth less. They're diluting our dollars. They're printing up so many that all of our dollars are worth less. Every time you go to the market, you spend more to buy the same product you bought last year for less. So that's called inflation.
Yeah, but your pay doesn't go up either, though.
Right.
So
exactly. So that's not inflation.
It's cutting up the middle class, then, pretty much.
Right. This whole process is called stagflation, and we're in the middle of stagflation. Peter Schiff thought it was hyperinflation.
You know what that is? Stagflation is when inflation goes up very high, but payrolls don't increase, right? Exactly. And,
exactly. So you're figuring it out right now. It's not that complicated for all of us to understand what's going on. It's pretty serious.
You're really sharp. I mean, hey, can you? I hate to change the subject. I know you're a little sensitive to the matter, but can you please forgive Willie Pickles? He really likes you.
Okay.
But going back to what we were saying, maybe tomorrow, like, you can forgive him. He really likes you.
Yeah.
But you're really sharp. So you know about all that stuff, huh?
Yeah, I do. I've been researching a lot of this.
So Dave, do you have Obamacare or your own private insurance?
You know, I don't have any health insurance at all. I will be basically a Medicaid recipient if I get sick, and then they would just lodge.
Did they fine you when you filed your taxes for not having insurance? They didn't.
You know,
I didn't fall in a bracket because I didn't work all.
Were you fined?
All of last year, just some.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get fined this year around, but next year you might. If I get sick, I'll lose my effing house. That's right. No, seriously, if I get sick, I'll lose my house. But legally, I'm allowed to stay in it till I die. So technically, you can stay in your house. They can't sell the house from under you while you're living. So if I got sick right now, I could stay here until I died. So I'm not really that worried about it. Okay? But some people really are, and some people want to get all their bases covered, so they want a good, solid insurance plan. That's going to run you between $7,500 a year and $15,000 a year. No, they cannot evict you when you're in medical bankruptcy. Many people don't know that, and what many people do is they think, oh, the medical bills are coming in, and we better take out a mortgage on our house, honey, to pay for the medical bills. Well, that's the last thing you want to do. You basically just say, I'm sorry, I can't pay. I'll work out a payment plan, but then declare medical bankruptcy. Don't take a mortgage out on your house, because if you take a mortgage out on your house, yes, they can go after that mortgage and they can evict you. So the big mistake most people make is they need to run around grabbing that money, and those healthcare providers are really greedmongers of the highest order. I think it's criminal what they're doing right now. They'll go after your house. They'll go after anyone you transfer your assets to 5 years from when you got sick. They've got laws in every state now to do this. I'm not in violation of the law, no. In fact, if I meet the threshold to pay taxes, I'll of course pay taxes. But because I have no income at all, except for maybe a little bit of eBay sales and some rent, I'm way under the limit. In fact, if I filed tomorrow, I would probably get earned income tax credit back about $300 to $500 for the year. And I don't want to be a ward of the state, so that's why there's no need for me to file. But yeah, there's a lot of people. My mic is chirping. I'm sorry.
How do you know all this shit, man?
I'm trying to help you out, man. I've done a lot of research on this.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying. Like, how do you know all this, dude?
Well, I read a lot. You know, I'm processing lots of information all the time, man. I'm spending most of my time receiving information and coming up with solutions. I'm already preparing for the upcoming future of 50-year projections for this country. I've made some serious decisions in my life.
How could we reach out and get free money then?
How are you going to get free money? You're going to get free money if we make a program for you guys to get a micro loan going where you can actually get money and make, you know that you need money to make money. Everyone knows that. So
yeah, obviously, yeah. It takes money to make money.
Yeah, so I'm going to offer a micro loan program through our infrastructure bank of $1,000, and you'll have a full year to pay back that $1,000 if you want to pay us back. If you want to take the money and run, you'll never get another loan.
Do they have any small business loans for convicted felons?
You probably would qualify, yeah. With the micro loan program might meet your if you've never had a convicted felony for financial handlings like embezzlement, we would definitely consider you. But if you're an embezzler, you won't get any money from us.
Mine was for beating people up, but like, could I get any specific like loans or anything, like to start a business or something like that? Because I'm a felon and I don't have as many like opportunities as people without felonies. Like, you know, small business loans for women and stuff. They have stuff like that.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what we're hoping for. We're helping for a 2% loan to U.S. businesses hiring U.S. citizens. That's the plan. Einstein's brain was completely wasted. Einstein's brain was wasted. Some guy grabbed it from Princeton and took it and then parsed it off into separate areas. Nobody ever even found out where Einstein's brain was in the end. Nobody's ever studied it. It's a hoax about the Einstein brain. But no, as far as 2% loans out to businesses like you, I think that if you were a legitimate business and you've already proven that you can make money at that business, you would qualify for a U.S. loan of 2% money. And that could be up a $100,000 loan up to $1 million. That would be the infrastructure bank that I'm planning on deploying through the executive branch if necessary, but I'm going to work with Congress to make that happen.
So, David, would you repeal Obamacare if you were president?
Yeah, we would work to have the Justice Department repeal Obamacare based on the premise that it violated constitutional law. It used reconciliation to pass landmark legislation. It was a clear abridgment of our Constitution. Clear. And it shouldn't have even had a problem. Had the Republicans sued right there and then, we would never have been down this long road of nullification, where states just say, hey, we won't honor it. And some states have been able to back out of the Medicaid provision but it's not really going to be the answer in the long run. I'm not giving financial advice to a felon. I'm trying to help people who are trying to get their act together. You know, everybody can't be perfect in life, and if you made mistakes like beating people up, which clearly puts you in jail, yeah, you're going to end up having to face a tough road getting back on your feet.
Yeah, this is the land of second chances, America.
It should be, especially for citizens, not necessarily for just everybody. I think some people are coming in here thinking it's a land of freebies and lots of government money. But it's not, you know. Don, Tony, I didn't know you were living with these guys. Are you on a landline, or are you at a trunk line, or how are you calling me? Are you guys on a group line? Hello? I guess we lost the caller. Yeah, whenever it gets down to the truth, it's difficult. I did get a cell phone that looked like the Obama phone. I paid $19.99 for it. Is this a group sex line? Well, I don't think the new tip on the new bank to rob is really what they're going to be doing. The infrastructure bank idea is only going to go out to people who have legitimate businesses and somebody who isn't a known embezzler. But $1,000 loan for any of us, even if you took the money and didn't pay it back and never got another loan from the government, would still be better than nothing. Our economy needs a little jumpstart money right now. No, my cell went out of service a couple of years ago. When I found out that cell phones are a contributing factor in brain cancer, I said, no, I don't want that. I mean, who wants brain cancer? And if you know the dangers, you will not use your phone except in speakerphone mode. I urge you to not do that. The recent statement by the director of the World Health Organization is astounding. I'm amazed it didn't hit the mainstream media, but she said that cell phones do contribute to brain cancer. Well, you know, there's going to be a lot of free $1,000 opportunities with my administration for people on average. If every U.S. citizen over the age of 18 got $1,000, it would cost our nation $250 billion. That's nothing compared to what we've just spent out under Obama. $7 trillion he's spent, and none of it has shown any real traction in our economy. You guys are texting? Yeah, I know. I mean, you guys have cell phone plans. I get it. But I would recommend holding the phone a little away from your body. And, you know, when you have it on your person, I don't recommend keeping it near your organs. I'm serious. When you're at your work, set it on your desk. Keep it away from your body. The RF frequency studies that are being done, the high-level studies, are showing that the RF frequencies will alter our body structure. They are metamorphic. David, it's a big world. There are literally 191 other countries in the world. That's insane. I know. I'm talking about all RF frequencies. We're talking radio frequencies like Bluetooth uses radio frequencies. There are infrared signals that are pretty safe in the home. If you're using infrared audio, stereo headphones, those are pretty safe. But the FM transmitters are using frequency modulation. I'm complaining about all of it. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. I don't trust, and I certainly don't trust this technology of sending electricity through the air. Tesla talked about it, but back in Tesla's day, they didn't have any connection between electric waves and cancer. They're seeing a lot of things now scientifically that are showing electrical waves can alter the structure of our body. They were studying this way back in the 1960s. I mean, this is ancient technology, really. Okay, everything causes cancer, Dave. Just don't overexpose yourself to any one thing. Well, that's easy for you to say, but you're not living in hell. I don't know. I don't even know my bracket, Charles. Yeah, I feel really out of the basketball loop. Unlike Obama, I don't spend all my time working on my jump shot. I've got the ultimate sky hook down. I don't even need to worry about it. I could go one-on-one with anybody in a basketball game and take them down instantly with the sky hook. Nobody can even get near the sky hook. Abdul-Jabbar had it. Guaranteed 30 points a game. You stopped using your microwave? Well, that's a little extreme, but whatever, you know. I know a lot of you took the red pill, and here you are. You're in Wonderland. And I get to tell you how deep that rabbit hole goes. Yes, the jets may cause me to live somewhere else. I am living in hell. Yes, I am. Every day I get 120 decibels over my house. I didn't sign on to this. When we moved here 20 years ago, they said it was in the no-fly zone. I'm serious. The real estate agencies said that. There's a lawsuit now going on, a class action lawsuit about that. No, Alex won't have me on his show because I don't fit into his little paid-off group of cronies. I'm not a secret society guy. Webcams are the worst toxins in technology. Yeah, for some people, especially a woman who's your age who wants to make some money, yeah, it could be dangerous. The Republicans and Democrats are just two parties in front of the people, so they think they have choice. But in the end, it's controlled. What do you think about this? Brewman, that's part of the Hegelian dialectic. Point counterpoint. The illusion of freedom and democracy. Left versus right. Constantly separating people. Create problems that don't exist and then solve them. Pretend like you got the answers to the climate problem by presenting climate control like cap and trade. When in fact cap and trade will not even correct the climate problem, let alone solve the pollution problem. Art Bell, what about him? Yeah, I'd talk to Art Bell. He's a nice guy. I don't want to talk to George Norrie, though. The gates of hell were opened when we were born. Wow. 817, very, very nihilistic there. No, it was progressively worse. When I moved in here, we hardly ever heard a jet fly over our house. And then gradually, with the pivot to China that the government under Obama is doing, where they're building up forces on the West Coast here, it looks to me like this is like military junta land. I feel like I'm living in Dresden prior to the attack. Thank you. Yeah, well, the problem is maybe you shouldn't be so sober. Maybe you should start recognizing that you're in need of something mind-altering to get you through the night, man. So many people today are self-medicating, you know. I halfway think our president's been self-medicating since he walked into the White House. Yeah, I bet it does. A lot of you are suffering from what is called future shock. It's a product of living in a modern age. Alvin Toffler wrote a book about that. Well, you don't hear them because I have a soundproof studio in my bunker. Occasionally you hear it. A panic attack feels terrible, I understand. You get palpitations, your heart's pounding, shortness of breath. You can get nauseous. I wouldn't go there. Try to train yourself to not do that. Use biofeedback techniques. Start that meditation I was telling you about. Nope, I don't drink or I don't smoke and I don't toke. I just poke that poke. I have been known to vape on occasion, but I don't really think it's going to be a match. Vaping in the White House is not something conducive to helping the nation. I'm really concerned about what little time I'll have to help the nation. If I don't do the due diligence of constant work to help the nation, and if I stand around getting high, you know, vaping or something, yeah, dude, what's going on? I don't think that's going to be helpful for our country. I don't see how anyone could possibly have done that like Obama did. No, I haven't signed up for health care because I'm going to wait till they actually take my house. But you know, if I don't have a house and I sell the house, I have to, you know, make all that public. It would be a capital gains tax I'd have to pay, and all my money would be vulnerable to medical. I'd have to cite all my assets. even if I did get sick. So yeah, you can't get out of that whole thing. The problem is the healthcare providers want to charge more and more and more and more. They refuse to accept less. So it's a terrible problem for everybody in our country, and they're putting the burden of all those homeless people and all the illegal aliens that Barack Obama wants to have come into the country onto you, the future medical recipient. So when you walk in the door, you're going to spend $1,500 for an hour at the ER. But a Mexican who's illegal, who's going to come in here, he's going to pay nothing. Zero. Oh, I don't have any money. Okay, just sign here, Mr. Rodriguez. Okay, thank you very much for helping me. And he walks away scot-free for $1,500. I met a guy this year. This is no lie. This is for real. I met a guy who was in the doctor at the ER with chest pain. They decided to admit him that night. They gave a battery of tests like ultrasound and a CAT scan and an EKG. Out the door the next day. You know what the bill was for 1 day in the hospital? It's going to blow your mind. I'll write it in the chat room. $14,700. 1 day in the hospital. Here in our area. And he had a healthcare insurance company that was going to pay a large portion of that, but he was going to pay $1,700 of copay. His copay would be $1,700 for 1 day. And he didn't. He was covered under an actual healthcare insurance provider, not a big one too, small one. See, it's the small insurance providers that are getting bilked right now hard by Obamacare, and they've got commissions set up to garnish their wages and profits if they make too much money. It's entirely upside down, and no businesses are going to even compete. Pretty soon it'll be down to like 4 or 5 companies. After about 2 years of this Obamacare hell, we're going to be looking at 5 companies in the country remaining. And they will be the ones that lobbied for Obamacare, that wanted it, that wanted to charge you 30% more and jack your rates up. I have 5 fingers. Oh, I could easily get government care if I didn't have a house. You have to declare your assets. And I would get Medicaid. Medicaid would be my government care, but they would go after my house as soon as it tapped out. It wouldn't be long before they'd actually sue me for my house. So, yeah. That's another reason to sell, just to get out from under any liability. I don't really like the way that hospitals manipulate the bill. I've caught them time and time again manipulating the bill. They'll charge you another day, $3,500 for another day in a hospital room somewhere, if you go past 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So when the candy striper's taking Grandpa out, make sure he gets out of that door by 12 o'clock the next day, or you look at that bill. Because they will jack it up 2 days if he goes to 12:15 in the afternoon. Seriously. And they'll charge you for water, yeah. The IRS showed up in 2006 for allegedly tax evasion, accusing me of living in Cancun for offshore investments. Wow. So you've had your own little nightmare with the IRS, huh? I don't want to be a ward of the state at all. I'm not a part of Social Security, and I don't really participate in that plan. I'm not anticipating receiving a dime from this government. I'm at this point so despondent about the activities our government has engaged in, both the wars, the duplicitous treatment of people as if they're worthless, the incredible inequity in the country, the disparity between the rich and the poor. I'm so despondent about all of that I'm unhappy that our country has become so unaccountable for any of its misdeeds. They won't answer the phone when you call up and say, hey, I got a problem with my IRS bill, or I've got a problem with my Medicaid funds. There's nobody there answering the phone. There's somebody who's kind of disturbed going, well, sir, I'm sorry you're getting so upset, but I can't help you, sir. I'll send you to my supervisor. Then you'll go to their supervisor. Well, I'm sorry, sir, you're a subject. I can't help you. I'm going to, it's a round and round, and you go around circles from one person to the other. Our government has been completely unaccountable for almost I'd say 60 to 70 years now. They were more accountable right after World War II, when people really took everything seriously. But now everyone's just, here to make a buck and fill a space, and they just do it and get it over with. Almost irreverent attitude in the government. So we're looking at major cutoffs, and I'm going to be laying a lot of people off in the federal government. My plan is to cut the federal government's expenses for payroll in half. And that means offering people who are normally $100,000 a year income $65,000 a year. Offering new entry levels $36,000 a year, not $68,000 a year. These are major changes that need to be implemented to get our country to be more fiscally sound. Okay. At what point will the IRS come after you for not paying your taxes? If those W-2s and 911 and 1099s keep piping in, Shrek, for a couple years, you'll get contacted. If you have no 1099s or W-2s going in, you probably won't get any calls. It's the alert is when they're getting W-2s in and nobody's filing. That's when they get really upset. But I would task the IRS to not pick on people making less than $100,000. Thank you for cheering me up. It affected you. You can't get your credit card rating cleared despite paying unnecessary penalties and some compromised tax debt. Yeah, New Leaf. New Leaf's been going through hell about this. Thank you. You tried the Megastore water distiller? Okay. Nightcloud. I still go with the zerowater.com site. They sell these things at Walmart, and they're really reasonable. $19. That is a good question. Congress doesn't have to approve salary caps. I can just slash federal salaries. I can start firing people. And the executive branch can make the necessary cuts to get our budget under control. There's so many people on the take in our government. Let me give you some numbers that'll shock you. There's 77,000 people making over $150,000 a year. There's 100,000 people making $100,000 a year. I mean, the numbers are just like, okay, what are they doing for $100,000 to $150,000 a year? I don't get it. Sorry. I could see them making $36,000 to $68,000 a year, but beyond that, I'm really not getting it. Well, Warlord may have his own view on income tax. I believe that the 16th Amendment, when looked at directly, doesn't account for taxing wages and compensations. So in a way, I agree with him. But ironically, it's not like we can go out sue the IRS. They have all kinds of tax code. Apart from the 16th Amendment, they've got all kinds of tax code they use legally against you. And people like Wesley Snipes, he lost a battle. He had to spend 3 years in prison. A guy like that. And New Leaf says he listened to the old Coast to Coast AM show about how to avoid paying any taxes. It was a nightmare. So I urge everybody to pay your taxes on time if you can. I did up until the time when I stopped making any money. It became futile and unnecessary to pursue a business that couldn't draw an income. And I wasn't going to run around town telling people that magically advertising was going to solve all their woes when the economy was spinning down. People still don't have a lot of money to buy expendable items. Our discretionary income has reached an all-time low in America. You know that credit card debt has retreated from $1.1 trillion to $880 billion in America? People are paying their debts off. It's amazing. Yeah. So in the upside of the recent time is that people are using their credit cards less and less. That's a good thing in my eyes. I don't see it as a bad thing. But our government sees it as a bad thing. Remember I talked about how important expanding credit is to so many people in our government? They're building their entire Ponzi scheme around the idea that everyone needs to buy more and spend more, and that's not going to build equity. That's not going to build a solvent government. If we get back to a pay-as-you-go plan, phase out the Federal Reserve and trim the IRS budget down to nothing, the IRS should be used for people who are true offenders that are making $250,000 a year and really, skirting away with their profits in other countries. They shouldn't be tasked to bother people making $36,000 a year with 2 kids to feed. It's crazy. So I will be telling the IRS what they need to be doing too, and they will have to do that. I don't have good credit. I've never taken out loans. You have to take out loans to get good credit. I used to have 7 credit cards. I got rid of most of them. I got 1 credit card now. I don't believe in borrowing and literally borrowing from tomorrow to pay for today. I don't believe in that. New Leaf is paying in cash as much as possible. That's right. Well, the Federal Reserve has a clause in it, Guest 954, where we can retire their charter with a buyout clause. It'll take about $1 billion to buy them out. Everything I'm doing here is recorded. We are on a continuous show that you can watch in repeat every day at americasthirdparty.com. You can go down below and just click on the thing. You'll see last night's show. I'm writing a book right now on how I live. And it's going to be a remarkable book because it teaches people a way of life that I've discovered is phenomenal. I live below my means, but I live very comfortably. And I don't seek to spend income that I don't have. You want to go down below too? My coffee turned out a little bit weird, admittedly. It tastes like Starbucks grinds that have been rebrewed. It has a Starbucks flavor. I will say that. Yeah, I'm able to use it. Absolutely. I'm going to alternate between that brand and my my really good hazelnut flavoring. I like a little, mixture. I like to vary it from day to day. But hey, I got free grounds. I got 30 pounds of free Starbucks grounds. They said for your garden. So it will go in my garden, but I'm rebrewing all of that. You got much more coffee in those grounds. I know. The Keurig cups, K-cups are what, 40 cents a piece at best? I got a 12-pack for $4.99 last week. Yeah. It's not my bubble you're bursting. It's true. You're having to pay the alternative minimum tax if your income is over $125,000. Yeah. You're paying 25 to 27%, and anyone over $125,000 is paying the alternative minimum tax, which was set up a long time ago when taxes were way lower than they are today, and incomes were way lower than they are today. Well, you could try my coffee if you want. It's just like any other Starbucks coffee you'd get, but lower the intensity of the caffeine by about 30%. It has a weird, unique taste. I notice that I get a really strong buzz when I drink Starbucks coffee when it's like fresh. I mean, really strong. It's like, whoa. I'm not sure if there's any kind of teabagging going on between those two guys. I really don't know. I'm sure. Well, I do have my my vaporizer here at all times, so I have not tried Tim Hortons. No. This is amazing new technology that takes the herb itself and leaves it, and just grabs the emollient or the active ingredients in the oregano. Yeah, I'm very concerned about the coffee. I have it in the refrigerator. And I decided to throw 20 pounds in the garden. So I kept 10 pounds in the refrigerator. Yeah, this is pretty cool. It's called the Cloudpore M3. Cloudpore M3. And the thing's about $50 online. Sarah is never going to smoke marijuana. Do I believe in aliens? No, I don't. Sarah does, but I don't believe in them. I've yet to see an alien. I have to see it to believe it. Now, I've got a video here that, even though this is a technology day, I thought I'll play it tonight anyway. I saw it last night. It was really kind of weird. This guy actually believes that... let's see. Oh, this is 2.
Good morning. My name is Carol Rosen. In 1974, after being a 6th grade school teacher, I was introduced to the late Dr. Werner von Braun in the U.S., the father of rocketry.
All right, there have been a lot of people who talked about seeing aliens, abducted by aliens. We could turn the whole show into aliens. Yeah, I spent $50 on this. This is a battery, and in here is a chamber that has all kinds of place for herbs. And this is a thing that bounces and breaks up the herbs, so it constantly circulates them so that they get access to the igniter. Yeah, I don't want to turn the whole night into alien night. I mean, we got Monday and Tuesday for that. We've got technology we can talk about, like artificial intelligence, that's concern that Bill Gates has about AI. Yeah, I would much rather talk about the dangers of cybernetics and how they may very well develop much faster than our wildest dreams. But at the same time, we have a new technology like this. Check this out. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to create biodegradable robots so that we don't have to worry about these things taking over. Yeah, so music is very relaxing, yeah. I already am slipped into something very comfortable, thank you. Yeah, I'm starting to, get a little sleepy just thinking about it. But yeah, this is I think we could make biodegradable robots that would dissolve, thereby eliminating the chance for any kind of a artificial intelligent device taking over the world. So we could make them so that when they get wet, they just dissolve. It's a safeguard that humans can build into the AI intelligence plan to actually eliminate the threat of robots. Imagine a cyber cop that came up to your house saying, "I'm a cybernetic organism, human flesh over metal exoskeleton." And you say, "Excuse me, but I have a water gun and you're dust, dude." And then all of a sudden it's like the Wicked Witch of the East. I'm sinking. Help me. Remember that? Wizard of Oz? Great show. Yeah, so biodegradable robots are on tap tonight. Anything else that comes to mind? A solution to the AI mess? We can talk about that. Nice shrinkage, thank you. I rather pride myself on my expansion ability as opposed to my shrinkage, but thank you for noticing. Help me, I'm shrinking. Ooh. Yeah. No one's allowed to hit in my house because I've got this security thing going on. It's pretty intense. Bells are going to be blowing and whistles will be screaming, and the motion detection system kicks on, and then come the lasers. And you don't want to be near the lasers. They're dangerous. Will I pawn the White House furniture pay for your medical insurance? I don't think I'll need medical insurance, man. I'm going to be able to easily survive the apocalypse because my body is veritably invincible to healthcare problems. I consider myself a medical intuitive as well as an automotive intuitive. So if you have any questions, don't ask me because I can't give any medical advice. But for myself, I know exactly what's wrong with me at all times. The other day I felt a little disruption in my colon. I took some Metamucil, solve the problem, no problem. I don't need a 5-foot stick to go up my ass to tell me that I'm fine. And by the way, those new technologies coming are going to be amazing. The pill, it's out now. You can take a pill, and it'll take a video picture of your entire colon. Much better than a colonoscopy. My colon's great. Thank you for asking. Oh yeah, yesterday when you were in the back seat of the Border Patrol incident was great. You want to see that again, Bengalitis? This is the most shocking picture I've ever seen. Coming from Border Patrol. It was inland Border Patrol too, which is even worse. It's like, what? Inland Border Patrol unlawful arrest. It won't play there. Let's see if I'm going to play it on another one. Wow. That didn't record. It was a bad recording. Wow. Bummer. I really wanted to get a capture of that too. I'm going to have to go back and get it. What happens if I get prostate issues? Well, the studies coming out of Denmark are very encouraging to not do anything. There's been a lot of concern about that. Thank you, Willie, for asking. But yeah, Denmark is showing that if you don't touch the prostate, don't go in with a transurethral resection of the prostate, don't go in with radiation, don't go in with a prostatectomy, and just continue living normally, you'll be like 97% of all men to live to be 97. Everybody gets prostate cancer eventually. So yeah, in this case, less is more. You'll live as long as anyone would have had you not had cancer. But there are aggressive cancers, and you need to be aware of the potential earmarks for that. You talk to your doctor, and definitely get checked out. But I'm not urging you to not get any checkups. I'm just saying doing something can be catastrophic. It creates necrosis of the tissue, which can lead to cancer production. There are a lot of concerns that invasive technologies like surgery have actually increased the number of cancer victims than decreased the cancer victims. There's a study that came out that was totally bogus about 2 months ago, claiming that when you take out the 2 leading causes of cancer deaths and look at all the stats, the cancer is completely random. That was the study's finding. I know we're all concerned about prostate cancer. The fact is, there's a cause of almost everything in the world. We just don't know what it is. And for a scientific study to be engaging in hocus pocus like that and saying, oh, everything's random, it's just ridiculous. Really? Jimmy Kimmel and Bill Murray riding a horse dressed as a woman. Yeah. I'm sure that's really intelligent stuff. I'm sorry I missed it. The family had offered a 10,000 reward in the search for Bird. 2 teenage killed, yeah. Well, the benefits of smoking herbs like oregano or comfrey or basil or sativa or indica are that you will immediately get a euphoric sense of happiness and be able to carry on. Carry on, carry on. No, I'm not high. But I can tell you, that jet above me that's spewing jet fuel in my hair every day when I walk outside, that is high. I can hear it now. It's 500 feet up. It's an F-18. That's high. Do you ever get high, Dave? I have. I have smoked, what do they call it, marijuana before? Biodegradable robots. That's the answer to the robot invasion. Yep. No, my hair is artificially curled simply because it's fantastic hair. I was born with the most perfect hair on earth. I wish I could show you pictures of when I was a little kid. Baby Dave. Yeah, I don't know what it was, but everyone said, wow, that kid's got great hair. Here was me on a bad day. I had kind of a reptilian skin condition. I don't know. It just didn't. It was a Truth Tuesday. I wasn't looking 100% at the time. I was looking a little bit weird, a little peaked. Now everyone's going to say I'm a reptilian. I knew that would happen. I've never smoked a ketchup packet, but I have been known to grab ketchup packets at the fast food restaurants and take them with me and eat them. They have lycopene in them, which is known to reduce the prostate cancer risk by 50%. And that was the day the coffee machine broke. The day the coffee machine broke. They were singing, bye, bye, Miss American Starbucks. Drove my Chevy to the levee and rebrewed my grinds. And good old boys were singing whiskey and rye, drinking whiskey and rye. Saying, this'll be the day that I get high. What's the deal with turmeric? Very big connection between turmeric, and the longevity. Scientific studies, technology has been developed, and they're working on a pill right now at University of San Francisco to elongate life, extend life. They're anticipating 30% longer lifespans for people with this pill, and it has turmeric in it. Yes. So if you guys are eating French's mustard and thinking it's no big deal, believe it or not, I had an uncle that lived to be 96, and he ate 2 hot dogs a day with plenty of French's mustard on it. And it has turmeric in it. The yellow mustard does. Not all mustards have turmeric in it. But I swear that was one of the leading reasons why he lived to be 96 years old. Your grandmother's 92. Does she eat hot dogs too? Yeah, he was eating 2 hot dogs a day with mustard on it. It has curry. Turmeric is in curry, yeah. Lycopene is in tomato sauce, ketchup, watermelon. The European Union is set to launch a first operation in new propaganda war with Russia, within days of EU leaders giving formal approval to the campaign at a summit on Thursday. U.S. has been in full swing, basically a non-stop attempt to start a war with Russia, folks. So that brings me to why we need a third party, everybody. I hope you got the drift of what we're talking about tonight, because these two parties, they're the apparatus that supports this fake, lying, expansionistic credit economy we've got. And we're not going to be able to solve this problem. You got it? Skip to 2:15. Okay, thank you. This is the video that I want all of you to see. It's a mind blower, everybody. I'm going to say goodnight and leave the video for you. Thanks for that, Scissor Fight, and I'll get another recording of it tonight. I'll probably have to go to a different code. But this is the live leak reveal. This is Border Patrol that's acting completely out of their bounds, and the due process is not going on. The citizens are not getting their rights respected. Turmeric is an herb. It's a spice, yeah. Yeah, it's really good stuff. If you guys get some, and like I said, yellow mustard packets at any fast food store has turmeric in it. So it's good for you, everybody. I want all of you to live as long as you possibly can, and it's one of the ways you can do that. Okay, we'll skip to 2:15 on this, and I will say goodnight. Tomorrow is Freedom Friday. Thank you so much for coming in and having a great interactive chat, political discussion with America's Third Party. Thank you. Later, Giraffe Brain. Good night, Scissor Fight. And everybody else, too. See you, Jerkafan. Oh, well, I don't think the NSA is going to take me out. They're going to need me. I spin 69. Not a lot of people have the ability to think as fast as I can on my feet. So I want all of you to know that you're in good hands with me leading this country, and that's why I want your vote. But thanks for your concern. Yeah, turmeric is good. I understand turmeric is actually good for whitening your teeth. I haven't tried it because this is a fake 3D press-on veneer thing, but I should try turmeric, yeah. Problem is, once you put it on your toothbrush, it keeps getting yellow. It'll never be un-yellow. So I don't know how it works on your teeth, but they say it's good for whitening your teeth, too. I know it's yellow, but try it. I don't know. All right. Inland Border Patrol checkpoint, an unlawful arrest, coming from Live Leak. Take care, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, we say their names now.
What?
Part of the song when they say their names.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Where are you coming to? Where are you going today?
I'm sorry, sir, but I don't have to answer that question.
I'm sorry?
I don't have to answer that question.
Can you park right there, please?
For what?
Can you park right there?
For what? Get
Can
your
you
hands
park right
out of
there?
my car. Get your hands out of my car. This is assault. What are you doing?
All right?
What is
Not
your
assault. State
reasonable
citizenship.
suspicion?
State your citizenship, sir.
That I will. I'm a United States citizen.
How about you, ma'am?
U.S. citizen.
Is that your son in the back?
Yes.
Do you have anything illegal in the trunk?
No. No, you cannot look.
Pop the trunk, please.
No. I do not consent to any searches. I do not consent to any searches or seizures.
What is
What is your reasonable suspicion?
Put your car in park.
It's in park.
Step out of the vehicle.
For what?
Step out of the vehicle.
What is your reasonable
I'm gonna ask you
suspicion?
one more time.
Listen to me, man.
Step out of the vehicle.
Hey, dude, stop. I gotta unbuckle my seatbelt
That
first.
was my husband.
Dude, what are you doing?
Step out of the vehicle.
You're being recorded, so you know.
I know I am.
Okay, well.
I'm not doing nothing against policy.
Yeah,
Step out
you
of the
are. I'm gonna sue the shit out of you.
Okay.
Okay, I'm trying.
Put your hands on top of your head.
Dude, relax.
Spread your legs.
I know,
You
baby.
got any weapons on you?
My 4-year-old child.
You got any weapons on you?
No, there's no wild. How did I do this alone myself? I don't have to
My
answer
window
that
doesn't roll
question.
down.
There's no law saying I do.
No, my window doesn't roll
I
down.
answered the only question that I'm required to answer. You got any weapons on you?
No.
All right. I'm gonna drive the car over there.